record button on this, and we're live. Well, we were already live, but now we're extra live.
Hey, hey.
So,
Oh,
welcome to our second annual Game of Year awards, pretty much for the Paper Play Awards. This is what we're doing this time. Here, with me, as you can see, we have this nice little chart tier list. We will say, but we also have my lovely co-hosts of, well, we have Pele.
Sorry, what?
I literally just sneezed, bro. Like unironically. I had to mute myself.
There's Aaron. Leon laughed.
Hi,
Jones
I'm
is
sick,
there.
so I'm sorry if I do sound.
Yeah,
raspy.
Leon's dying. We also have Davon. He's back there somewhere. He ain't saying anything.
Sneezes.
Yeah, he's sneezing too. We got sneezes.
Well, fucking make you sneeze.
Am I missing anybody? I think there's everybody, right?
You don't want to know.
He's gonna tickle your nose.
Ooh.
Why did I sound so?
I'll try to make it a good time.
Reminded me of Chris Rock in Fifth Element.
It'd be like that.
Ooh.
But as we can see here, unlike last time, we're going to be doing votes based on rounds and moving these things up as well as we see. So, little addendum. There are some games on here that are, there are games that are missing from here that don't count. So, for instance, if you're thinking of something like Lethal Company, technically, that has not been released. It is in early access.
Still in early
Not
access.
official release. We are also currently missing 2 games that did get released this year, but they have been in early access for like the longest time and just released, which is The Finals and Ready or Not.
Ready or not? Yep.
Friends vs. Friends, was that
There's
did that
also
come out
a couple-
this year, or is that still in early access?
And there is also
Let me
one
check, 'cause Friends
game
vs.
on
Friends should
this.
probably be on this list.
Yeah, I was about to say.
There's-
Hold up.
There's also one game on this list that definitely should not be on this list based on that criteria. Even
Which one is that?
the day before.
Oh yeah, that one. Yeah, that one's on.
But
here too.
that actually officially launched though.
No,
Yeah,
it's
before it
still
came
early access though.
Is it really?
Can it be
Yeah.
early access if it's not being worked on? If it's just not
How do
being
you
worked on.
know if a game is in early access or not?
It tells you on the
Will it tell
Steam
you?
page at the very least, yeah.
Funny enough.
No, it's not. I believe this game is no longer in early access.
Yeah,
Not any longer, but yeah.
this
No.
counts.
Friends versus Friends.
Friends vs. Friends, yeah. No, that
Yeah.
is not
Friends
early
vs.
access,
Friends is officially released, so we will add
Yep.
that on here
but the list.
in a second. That
I
being
don't-
said,
we need to play more Friends versus Friends. I'm not gonna lie.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
We played it a lot for a while, and then we took a little break.
Took a little break while they was updating, and now there's a bunch of updates, and we haven't gotten back to
I
it.
added a bunch of new maps.
I was like, but what we'll do is basically bit of controlled chaos is what I'm going for here. We will argue whether or not our game deserves, the games on here, certain games on here, deserve to go on to the next round of voting, and then we'll vote, right, and then see if it goes up. You are allowed to use almost any tactic to get your game up there because it's pretty blatant. But like I said, we're gonna try to keep it controlled, so we won't
We
spend
can agree on most of
Almost
them.
like anything about it.
almost anything.
Almost anything.
So basically,
Bonsai!
we won't let any argument go on for too long, but do your best to convince everybody else it deserves to go up. But we'll see how this plays out, right? So we'll use the first round as an example, and we'll use Armored Core because Armored Core is, we can agree, it's probably a pretty good game. I mean, I've played it; it's nice.
So we have round one. So there are things that will not make it past round one. I'm assuming they won't make
Yes,
it.
Yes.
there'll be things that will
Okay.
pass one.
Okay.
So like Armored Core,
I think-
for instance.
Armored Core should make it into round one. I feel like
I think so too.
I don't think it's a
At the
bad
very
game.
least.
Like, at the very least.
At the very
you know.
least, Armored Core going up.
At the least.
Now, remember, you can do the opposite too. If you feel like Armored Core sucks for no reason, I mean, granted, it's Armored Core, so like
I've
you
never
know it's
played
gonna
it, but
be-
I've watched you play it, and I've watched a lot of people play it, and I'm
Mm.
like, I can't take away from how good it like actually looks, and like people. have
By the
been
fact that the
loving it.
trailer itself was so hype,
yeah,
I
the
mean,
trailer was
like,
hype.
should be up.
It was crazy because it lived up to its hype. I feel like with the way that it is everything you want from an Armored Core game. It's everything you could possibly want. Monty, you said it the same thing when you played
Mm.
it. It's like you'll spend 4.5 hours creating a robot. You'll go 5 steps to fight the boss, and it'll kill you instantly. because you know it's how it is. You know.
This is how it be. And then you were like, all right, back to the drawing board. All right, so Armor gets to go up, right?
I think that goes up.
All right, so we'll use Crime
We just
Boss.
wanna go.
as
Oh, I
another
thought we were
example.
gonna go. Okay.
Yeah,
Which
we'll
one's
go
Crime
on.
Boss?
We'll go on. But we'll use
Crime
Boss.
Which one
Crime
is it?
Boss.
Crime Boss?
Right, it's the A-list actor. Payday
Oh
style
hell
game.
no! This game
No.
does not make it past round one.
Okay, I'll give
Is
this a
anyone
defending
here gonna
point.
do it?
There were some funny moments from what I've seen of the game, especially with what's his freaking name? Chuck Norris, literally doing push-ups, and the whole earth is shaking as he's doing it.
Yeah, no,
Like,
I saw
okay.
that. But also, isn't the game like basically unplayable?
I'll give you that.
It is
but there
very
are- there are
buggy. It's very
missions-
broken. It's also roguelite, surprisingly enough. It doesn't play
There's
like Payday.
missions of the game that are literally, hey, run from this point to this point,
point,
and that's
yeah.
it. It's like a mobile
The game is shorter than the loading screens at times.
Oh damn.
Wow.
Damn.
Like, there's no way this makes it to round one. Like,
Yeah, it sounds like it's
there's no
actually a
way.
contender for.
There's no way. Oh, there's
Round
holy
one.
shit.
Oh.
Holy shit. Yeah, that's definitely a contender for.
What the fuck?
That's definitely down there. For
I was
sure.
curious
Yeah,
what was on the
no.
bottom. I saw that little orange part. I was like, huh, what is that?
So
is that like beneath trash or?
we got two different paths here that every game can take, and
Okay.
we'll see where we end up. Is what we'll see about this. But you know, Crime Boss going down here for round one.
Rocket City.
Right? Going
Is
in-
there
going in
anyone
a
that
different
disagrees with that? Anybody here? that
Anybody want to
disagrees
fight
with
for
Nah.
Crime Boss?
it? Did you
I
buy
wish
it,
it
Davon?
No, I wanted to. It looked fun.
Oh.
It looked fun when
I mean,
the
it turned out
release
to be
trailers, and
bad,
then the
yeah.
game came out, and it's like, oh my god! It's
The
so
moment that I saw that many celebrities, my brain was like, "Oh no, red flag, red flag."
Very big red flag, yeah.
This can't be good. You spent all your
I'm like,
budget
damn it,
on them.
Danny Trejo's in it and everything, and I'm like, damn, I would love to play him. But then I saw the gameplay, and I was like, fuck, no.
Very sad.
All right,
Did I
so
fix it? Never mind. Don't worry.
It's no,
No.
they have not. It's definitely a game that I would have played. It would be a
oh yeah,
homie
no,
game
it's
for
super fun.
sure.
We would have played it if it worked. Like if it was
Oh,
actually like,
hey,
decent.
Amani, I was going to mention a few things because there's still entries on this list that needs to be added. Jedi Survivor needs to be on here, and if we're going for other games, technically the Skull Island Rise of Kong and Walking Dead Destinies.
That is true. Those two
Big
games should be on there.
Those are
They
there.
should be on the list, yeah. Survivor should be on this list, but for my own reasons, I'll explain later.
All right. You know what? We'll get them onto this list in a second.
All right, let's just.
But
Do you
let's
want to
continue if
Do
you
you
want
want to go down like from like the top lane and make our way to the right? You just want to do that? So
Yeah,
we don't
we're
have to
gonna do
bounce
that.
around?
Yeah.
I just had to do this so we can understand the full
Yeah.
mechanics, the scope.
Is,
Yeah,
is
that's
okay,
fair,
here's a
like,
question. Here's a question. Is it possible for a game to stay in the center and not go down? Like maybe it's not like the worst fucking game,
But like the
ever,
middest game
but
possible.
it's just
Well,
mid.
Considering that this is the category we're sitting in, the games of the year. Yes.
Okay, so it can stay as a game of the year, a game that definitely came out
This
this
was
year.
yeah, it was a
Game
game
definitely
that
came out this year, yeah. I was gonna say, like, based off that alone, Forspoken should be on the list.
Does Forspoken come out 2023?
Yes, it did.
It did.
Really?
Yeah,
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 but
really
it was
at the
also
very
not in our
beginning of the year.
nomination list, which is what's
Yeah.
funny. So best way
That's-
I can describe this is that this was originally a curated list of like our nominations of what we thought would have been really good about talking about, and then we introduced trash.
It's funny because you're the only one that played Forspoken, and even you forgot about it.
Well, no, I wasn't gonna nominate it originally. So like when we originally made the list, when we were talking about it, it was the games that we were like,
Okay, yeah,
we
I
want
gotcha, I gotcha, I
want
gotcha.
these to be on the list.
Yeah. Forspoken is definitely a game of the year. I wouldn't say it's a
Yeah.
horrible game,
It's
but
not
it's
worse.
definitely
Oh
It's
yeah,
not
no,
the
it
worst.
for sure
fucking
belongs
atrocious.
right here.
Here.
In fact,
Honestly, Iron
me personally, I would say it probably deserves here, but that's
It-
about it. But
in
I
my
understand
opinion,
why people would put it directly.
like, I think you overlook certain things based off of how cool certain mechanics can be, Amani, and I don't mean that in a bad way, but I think I've noticed that's something that you will like do. Like you're willing, not it's not a bad thing, but you're willing to overlook certain negatives if like it's doing something more interesting somewhere else. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And I will say the game does have a lot of like the powers are very interesting. I actually think they're cool.
They're super fun.
I just think the dialogue kills me, bro. It kills me. Like
Kills
it
me
makes me want
inside.
to die. It just makes me want to die. I'm not even talking about that one scene everybody talks about. The I can do that. Like I'm not even talking about that one. Just
Yeah.
I've watched a full playthrough of the game multiple like
You're just like,
every like
bruh.
and every time like it's so painful, dude. It's so painful to listen to that game. It's like a Tumblr. It feels like somebody, like a Tumblr user in 2014, something like that.
Wrote it.
Wrote it.
So, since we'll stick to the first row, we'll do Atomic Hearts next. Atomic Hearts.
It should stay where it is, in my opinion.
It
But that's
should
my
really
opinion.
stay. Okay, since I actually did play that game, it definitely belongs in just a game of the year. It's has some neat mechanic stuff, but like once you get to the open world, it goes full. It has a GTA mechanic where you need to essentially hide the entire time, despite it being open world and no other real interactions with it. It just becomes a bit of a slog to get through.
Okay.
The story is also bonkers as hell.
The DLC looks like it's bonkers as
The
hell.
DLC
too.
looks like it's an acid
Yeah.
trip.
I haven't been able to play the DLC yet, but I'll get to it eventually.
In my opinion, this game, the hype that it was completely carried by the two thick robots. And
Yes,
that's why
and then
90% of the people bought this fucking game.
It had a really cool art design, and it gave Bioshock vibes, which made people think, yeah, this is going to be a really good game.
Oh no!
And
that
to be
was
fair,
the-
it's not garbage.
Yes.
It's
I don't think it's garbage.
yeah.
I just think it's mid. It's
It's very mid.
game.
It like when I remember the development process because I remember seeing this like years and years ago. Like this looks cool, and then the game came out like it still has some cool stuff in it, but my god, does it not make sense?
Like I like the aesthetic,
All we
but
know about is a horny ass refrigerator. What the fuck it's called?
There is a
Oh,
really
yeah.
horny ass
Yeah.
refrigerator.
Oh, that gave me trauma. That made me
for me
traumatized.
personally,
That
I would
horny
leave it-
fridge.
I would leave it right where it is right now.
Honestly,
I,
no,
I don't think it goes up. Honestly,
It does not go.
Okay.
It does not go up.
I don't know about anyone
But
else
I wouldn't
here.
say it goes down either because it's not. It's not broken. It's not terrible. It's just not that great because like everything kind of evens out to a kind of a mid
It's
experience.
very milk
Mhm.
toast.
Yeah.
All right.
He will stay there for the thickness. That's it.
So I'm just gonna move this up
isn't
here.
even fair. This isn't even fair. I was about to say.
No, Baldur's Gate immediately goes up.
Nah,
You
bro,
won.
it
We
sucks.
played enough.
Baldur's Gate 3 it's a really point and click adventure. It sucks dick. Okay, nobody
Garbage,
fucking likes
absolute
that game.
trash.
It
Wow,
goes down.
amazing!
Absolutely
It's crazy that
goes
it's going right there.
bro. Like it's come on. Is it really a game
There's-
where you just
Baldur's
point and
Gate 3
click,
has no neat explanation,
Let's
just-
be honest.
Let's move on. Yeah.
I'm
It's
kidding.
so
No,
next one.
no. I do think it should be up.
Yeah. It's
Alan
great.
Wake
Hot
2.
garbage can't dry walk.
I played it
Okay.
too, and I don't know
So
much about it.
again, the game I played, I actually can defend this one. This game is also bonkers, but in a good way. It makes sense. It is meta narrative as hell. It's also creepy as hell, and definitely deserves to go up one round. It's just I don't want to say anything because of spoilers, obviously, but it is a really great experience. Musical numbers, freaking horror aspect details.
I love
this
the
atmosphere
musical
acting.
number.
It
That's
is
the one
great.
that's so
No,
fucking
in the
hilarious.
game itself, once you play it, is it's like what the fuck. It's great.
I haven't seen a full playthrough of it, but I've been watching a playthrough. I'm like 2 out of 4 of my way through it,
Okay.
and it looks fucking good. Like the game looks amazing. Like
Yeah,
graphically,
graphic details is great.
Graphically, it does
Runs
look
well.
amazing. I have no
graphically and like artistically, it's like oof. Like
It's
There's a
very
game on my
tense
list
and-
that I will admit I haven't played. I wanted to play, and then I kind of got a little weaned off because of how much people were like, it's amazing, but it's.
I don't know if it's the YouTuber that I'm watching cutting out stuff, but I haven't seen like excessive amounts of combat. There is combat, but
There
it's
is
a lot
combat,
more
yeah.
of-
That's still the general mechanic, and the shooting is kind of, I would say,
Yeah.
average, but it's serviceable.
Yeah, the shooting looks almost like Control. It looks
Okay,
almost the
it
same.
looks like
maybe
Control.
a little, maybe a little better. Maybe it looks a little better.
It's not as fluid as
but-
Control because Control you have to mainly just move around third person. No, it's more stiff than Control when you're
Okay.
moving outside of combat. But it is a slow, more investigative game along
Well,
with it.
Pele,
because
how
have
would you
to-
compare it to something like obviously Resident Evil, which would be its exact contemporary, right? Like as far as like controls go.
Okay.
for the kind of game.
Controls is actually, I would say, it's worse than Resident Evil.
Okay.
But in terms of narrative, it's much higher than Resident Evil.
That's also fair.
Okay.
All right, so it's going up.
Okay. What about combat though? And like, I would say I could go up from what I've seen.
Yeah, it can improve for sure, but it's like it's definitely
What-
not as like fluid or solid. I would say
I have a
Resident Evil or
question.
even Dead
During-
Space. Yes.
During combat, what kind of is it like third person shooting kind
Yeah,
of combat?
It's like this.
It's third person
exactly
shooting
this.
over the shoulder. You have a like a minimal amount of space you can carry, so like attaché cases like they do Resident Evil
Okay.
4.
Okay.
So yeah.
Now I'm
Gotcha.
gonna jump over here for a second because we mentioned Resident Evil 4.
Resident
And
Evil
do
4.
you feel like it deserves to go up based on what you've said about this? Because these two are comparable.
Automatically, it was gonna go up without any argument anyway.
I'm actually with Jones on that one because it brought literally a classic Resident Evil game into
It
the
looks
forefront.
so amazing.
It
It
looks
does look
so
really
good.
It does look really
Yeah.
good.
Yes, it is.
and it
really
plays
fun.
really well.
It plays really good too. Yeah.
It's also a
bro,
remake.
again,
But
it-
it
it's-
might be a
it
remake.
doesn't
but they
matter because,
changed
like,
enough.
bruh.
They change enough like mechanically in the game. Like it's
Yeah,
not just
there's
oh
the
they
parry
took the
system. You
original
can move
Resident
while
Evil
you're
4
aiming. Yeah.
and you can like I was watching you play it and I'm
Mm.
like yeah this is not actually Resident Evil 4. Okay,
No,
like you
no,
could
not at
not do
all.
this. And I remember playing that shit. And no, you could not
You
do
could
that
not
shit.
do
in
this.
Resident Evil. You know, so they definitely modernize it enough that it still looks like it looks really good, but it still almost feels retro despite it not being retro. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like it just channels a lot of that like classic Resident Evil stuff. I would say it would go up.
It's
I
doing the same
personally-
thing as 2, where it's the feeling
I-
of Resident Evil 4.
I
That's
personally
being played.
wouldn't put it anywhere higher than round 1 in my opinion.
Ah.
But I don't know. I mean, I'm looking at the other games. It could probably make it to round 2 potentially.
It definitely deserves to go up for sure. It's an
Baldur's Gate
improvement
should
of-
definitely be the very beginning of this list, by the way. Like the round 1 should definitely be Baldur's Gate first, and then Shadows of Rubicon, and Fires of Rubicon.
But yes, I
If you
do
wanna put
agree.
it like this, we can put it like that.
That's fine. Yeah, Resident Evil 4
Alright,
definitely
Blasphemous.
is. Blasphemous 2.
Blasphemous 2.
Let's talk about this one.
I think it's a great game, but I don't think it should go up.
Huh. What about you, Pele?
I've yet to actually play it myself. And wanting to, so I beat the original Blasphemous, and like from what I've seen in Blasphemous 2, they go really crazy and hard in some of the monster designs.
I will
So,
say the monster
good.
designs and everything are still like they kept and advanced a lot of things.
Mhm.
I would need to play it honestly. I haven't played it. I just watched a playthrough of it. I think
That's
the
a cool
music and art styles are still like amazing. They are fucking amazing.
Leon, what about you?
But-
You usually you do like to play a lot of Castlevania.
It's a
style
it's a
games.
2D Metroidvania.
Vania.
Metroidvania, yeah.
How do you feel about Blasphemous 2? I know you've seen it. You've probably
I
seen it.
have.
I do think
it's
it's okay. You know, I think it is still an improvement over the first one
Mm-hmm.
from what I've
I'd
seen.
say you can put it up at least for one, if not. just
You know,
even-
I could see it. I don't know if like somebody wants to look up some of the gameplay for it and like kind of put some votes in there, but I would be against it going up one, personally.
I think enough love is being put into it that it probably deserves going up by one. What about you,
Dude,
George?
the music is also
Hey.
like I'm not gonna lie, the
Music's
music
great,
is
yeah.
so good.
Blasphemous definitely goes up at least by one. It's still on my hit list, just like the first game. I only played a little bit of the first game, but Blasphemous is still one of the best Metroidvanias that have recently come out in the past 10 years.
Yeah, but I would say it's like equal to that of Hollow Knight, because I know Hollow Knight and Shovel Knight are like the two kings at the Metroidvania style right now.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna put this up. No objections.
Nope, no objections.
All right, cool. So I'll fight anyone that says otherwise. This is going up here.
No, that's okay.
Okay, I'm with Amani on this one because it got snubbed at the Game Awards, so he and I need this to be on the list.
I'll fight anyone right now who wants to smoke. No one? No smoke? Cool.
No, honestly,
I'm with agreeance. I played the game.
I'll put it
I'm
up.
not going to go against it. Hey, I love Jet Set Radio too. You give me another chance to play it again, hey, why am I going to complain?
Which is wild because they literally announced a Jet Set Radio game
Radio,
after
Yeah.
this came out.
Yeah.
Yeah, an open world. They said they're gonna make it.
Shit was wild. I was like, bro, ain't no way.
I mean, it already kind of was open world anyway.
So
I mean, that's when we play Free Skate.
this one really comes down to like the three of us that really played it, but like Final Fantasy. Or Final
That's
Fantasy.
16.
shit. That goes up. That goes up.
Yeah, no, I'm agreeing with that. That
Calm
goes.
down.
It goes up one.
Wait a minute,
I'll make
hold
my
up.
I'll make my argument after
Final
round one.
Mids to see.
No.
I'll make my argument after round
Devon,
one.
I heard you in the back. What you say?
No, I just said calm down, sir. He said yes, put it up, yes.
I thought you said it deserves to go down. I was like, hold up.
I-
Let me hear your reasoning. I'm gonna be honest. And this is gonna piss a
Yeah,
lot of
sir,
people
too.
off. I want to
Think
put it
it's
down just to spite people.
No, but it shouldn't.
Just to spite people?
It
Okay.
should stay. It should stay here. It should stay.
Counter
here.
Strike 2. It should stay. It should stay.
It's definitely enough of a change.
game.
We,
than, like,
we
you
are
know,
also
HD
not
and all
the
that.
core group of our friends who actually play that like
Oh,
almost
yeah.
religiously, so we're not the right people to say for it. But definitely would say, because from what I've heard is like it's still Counter Strike
It's-
with better graphics. But
it's-
according to what I've also heard is that they took a lot of shit away from the original Counter Strike, so it's technically a worse product.
I mean, they just monetized a lot of stuff that was like they were already monetizing CS:GO, if I'm not mistaken. But I could be
Mhm.
wrong.
But that
I would
doesn't
leave
sound
it
good.
there.
Okay.
I
I would
would
leave it
honestly leave it
there.
there. Realistically, they didn't.
I
Like,
wouldn't say it's
take-
bad.
They
Yeah,
didn't change the game in some dramatic way necessarily.
it's
They
still
also
the same
they,
maps, still the
I
same
think
handling.
more than
Yeah.
anything, I think what people talk about their mad is just they changed the way the marketplace works a little bit more. Because I mean, let's be honest, people were going crazy. So they,
Mhm.
you know, in some way they wanted to like, you know, I think they wanted to like to change in some way the market, the skins and all that.
That's
But I mean, I would leave it there. I don't think it was a downgrade in any way. I would leave it there. The Ducto 2, that
Ducto
game's fucking
2 was really fun for us
Ducto 2
when
was
we.
fun.
Please put
Yeah.
it up.
Yeah.
I-
He was like, please.
I put that game up.
I would put it
that
up,
game
yeah. Jones, and well, Leon, you played it with us, right?
Wolf.
I got
played
one
with
too.
us,
I'm not playing
I think Jones played
The
with
one
us.
time I exposed myself just because I wanted to fucking play with Pele being the killer. But I mean, I exposed myself. What can I say? Pele just fucks with everybody. I mean, everybody got at least one vendetta. One vendetta. We talked about this.
All right, so it sounds like it's going
Hey,
up.
fair's
It's
fair.
going in the-
Fair's fair.
Going in the round.
I'm down to put it up. It's like it is kind of like an Among Us clone to an extent, but it's got enough
To an extent.
going on that's
Mhm.
like. I also love the pit, bro. I live
The
for the pit. It's so fucking
It's
funny,
so
dude.
Why do we
Fucking
live for this
That's
tiny
some
little game
bullshit
mode?
and
Especially
weird
lives for the
people. Bro,
the platforming though.
Oh yeah.
It's funny because it's like, oh, do you want to play the game? And then it's like, if someone has to go do something, it's like, oh, you don't just have to sit there and do nothing. No, there's like two other things you can do, two whole ass
Oh,
other game modes.
here's also the thing like I love is like for because you don't have to like touch somebody to kill them. A lot of time you have to shoot them, and like my favorite kill to this day is like when Logan jumps off the building. I shoot him from afar, and I got away with it completely. Like yes.
Dude, it's honestly kind of infuriating sometimes, though. I'm not gonna lie. When you see like people walk past your body, and you're like, "Wow," and then you'll do the same thing to other people because the way your FOV is set up, it's kind of like out of the corner of your eye. Sometimes it's pretty
Mhm.
fun. Very fun game. Very very infuriating. Makes you want to break your friend's.
But
ankles
it's fun. It is a friendship destroyer, but it's great.
That Island 2,
Me
down
too.
in my opinion.
Down. I
I
kind of
forgot it
feeling
came
that.
out this year.
I was gonna say like Devon and Amani, you two were the planned people to play this game, but never did.
And trash.
Those, yeah, no, nothing good came out of it. To be honest, I didn't hear
Big
anything
sag,
good.
big sag, big down, big.
The only
down.
good thing I heard
down?
about it
I
was like
would
the
say
flesh
big
mechanic was
down.
really cool.
The what? The what mechanic?
The flesh mechanic. So the dismemberment in this game is actually
Oh.
pretty extensive.
I mean, yeah, but everything else about it was just
it
basic.
was garbage. Yeah.
So it's a down.
I would
It's
put
down.
down.
All right.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
Dredge. Oh
Dredge.
god.
I gotta go up. As much as that
Up,
game scares
go
the fuck
up.
out of me, I think that game.
Same
gotta go
here.
up.
It's gotta go up.
For
Yeah,
me,
you're
that's
gonna
go
fall
up
off.
because it scares
You're
the
gonna fall
fuck
off the
out of me
chair.
playing this game.
My cat's laying on like the seat next to me, and he's on his like.
Dead
little
Space
graphic
remake.
setup.
Hmm.
And he keeps trying to like lay closer and closer to the edge, and I see him sliding off the chair.
He's like, stop it! Stop sliding! What are you
All
doing?
right, sorry.
It's a danger.
Dead
Dead
Space-
Space remake.
I tried to play this and my PC it could run it, but it was dying,
It
so
was
I had
screaming.
to stop.
As someone who actually played
Used to
through it
do it.
myself, it is a really, really good recreation of the original game. It is terrifying in some parts, great graphical fidelity,
dude,
even
it's
like
scary.
some fleshman stuff. It's scary. For example,
Oh.
when you're shooting the necromonster's time, you actually can see the flesh come off the bone until
I
it
played
finally
like the
cuts off.
first, I think 4 hours,
Mhm.
and then once I started getting into like the heavier stuff that it had to generate and load, my computer was like not liking generating like the whole parts.
It
of
is
shit, you know?
surprisingly impressive. Like, also, I want to say this is
but
just
man,
like
it's scary. It's a lot scarier.
it
than
is
the
a
first
scary.
One.
It is
Like the
one, yeah, for
original one,
sure.
in my opinion.
But I will say this, like just as a plus note, because they game studio who had never had much faith in faithfully recreated the original series, while the spiritual successor to a Callisto Protocol failed miserably.
Yeah,
It's crazy
so
that close.
unfortunate.
It's honest. And then the guy that made it and like directed the Callisto Protocol, didn't he leave the studio again? And now
Yep.
he's making another studio.
Another one, yep. Me and
That's
Jones
interesting.
are apprehensive on that one.
It's like
Yeah,
you
it's
know,
it's a bad look. It's a really bad
It-
look.
it looks a little fucky because it's like, oh, now I'm gonna leave this one. It's like, but why? You made this one specifically for this. Like, I mean, you know, each their own. I could say it going up. I would love to see.
Yes.
I need to see a full playthrough of it with a good computer. You know.
I
better
can
computer.
stream on my PlayStation one day if you want me to.
I need to go through
But-
it anyway, so that's always
But
a
I played the 4 hours that I played. There were moments of it that I was like, actually, like, oh, Oh, like I was actually shitting myself a couple times. It was pretty scary.
Considering that
I
I
don't
played
really-
the original and then everybody just said that this is just the original but better, I'm like, yeah, nah, I'm tempted to just be like, this can.
It
go
is
up.
the original and better. It like even has some like mechanics from the game, the original series that I was like surprised. Like so instead of like just jumping from point to point like the original game, you actually get to fly around zero G the first time.
You actually like go around the ship. I actually really like that, but I think that's the part that was messing with my PC was having to generate so many things,
Hmm
and it was just too heavy.
It is a graphically intensive game.
But I think I did play enough to run into the regenerator.
Oh,
I
that
think-
guy. Yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah. And
The hunter.
And is it the hunter? Yeah, that thing that you can't kill. You can't kill it. You can't. It will come back and it will fucking hunt you throughout the entire ship. You know, it's fucking crazy. And unlike the old one in the first game, you was like, okay, when I'm here, I'm in danger of it, but the rest of the ship, safe. No, not anymore, motherfucker. This guy can probably show up almost anywhere. Like it's actually like kind of not. It's very unsettling.
Yeah.
'Cause I used to feel very safe in parts of the ship.
Unlike
in
the
first
previous, like the original one, there's a lot more backtracking you can do in this one, and that is both, well, a bonus because you get to actually get a lot more upgrades, but it also can, well, the ship's still hunting you fucking down, so.
That's
It'd be
fair.
scary. It'd be scary.
All right. El Paso elsewhere. I'm gonna be honest. I like
Oh
this
my,
a
did you
lot.
play this?
I did.
He did play this, yeah.
I did. This is my personal recommendation. This game, to me, is a vibe. So obviously, Max Payne graphics with Max Payne style game.
Oh
with, like,
yeah,
PlayStation
this
1
okay.
graphics.
Yeah.
And
With
then
some,
this noir style to it that is kind of sick with its storytelling that I really enjoy. Like I really enjoy it. So, I don't think this deserves mid at all. I think it stands out quite well. So I'm gonna put it up, but unless someone wants to argue me down, I think it's pretty cool. Like Aaron, you've seen it. You've seen me play. It. I
Yeah.
think you guys actually like
Yeah.
seen me like play this a little bit.
Mhm.
I think it's cool. I think it's a vibe. So no arguments on that one.
No, I'd put it up.
I put it up.
I think the because it's kind of like a lot. Obviously, it's Max Payne, but there's
Mhm.
also the games that came out. They were the Hong Kong like ones that were based off of the Hong Kong movies.
Midnight Fight something.
Oh, Midnight Fighting
Yeah.
Express. Yeah.
No.
No,
Well,
no,
I mean,
no.
yeah, there's that. No. There was an actual like kind of Max Payne-esque game that was based off of like these Hong Kong action movies. And I'm trying to
Oh,
remember their name.
I think I own it. Hold on, let me check.
Oh, Jesus Christ, dude! It's on like the tip of my tongue, and I'm gonna lose my freaking mind. Sorry. Well,
A Hong Kong
anyways.
Massacre.
Yeah, Hong Kong Massacre. Yeah, it's kind of like it gives me
It's
like a
top-
lot
this
of
one's
those.
the top down though. Yeah.
Hong Kong Massacre was a top-down shooter,
Mhm.
but like I think the way that they do bullet time in this game is a little like because in Hong Kong
I
Massacre
was gonna say
you
like
use
more
bullet
John
time and-
Woo than Max
John,
Payne.
that's what I'm fucking thinking of. John fucking is that who I'm thinking of? Is
John
that who
Woo,
I'm thinking of?
Stranglehold and the Bulletproof Monk, I think, or Bulletproof.
Yeah. John Woo had a bunch of like Max Payne-esque
Designs for it.
like no like games that came out but, like around the time that Max Payne and everything came
Well,
out.
it was
They were also Hong Kong.
Stranglehold was the one game that he made. Let's see.
There was one. Was it that one? The one that was based off of it. It just reminds me a lot of that, almost more than Max Payne, because
Yeah,
Max Payne
John-
was like crazy.
Yeah, John Woo's Stranglehold came out in 2007 on the PS3 and Xbox 360, based off the movie Hard Boiled.
Mm-hmm.
Hard boiled. Yeah. Anyways, I would definitely be okay with it being up there.
Bad. So, Exoprimal.
It could go up.
I think
They
it-
go up.
we put enough time into it. I think that
We put a lot of
Nah.
hours into that.
No,
What?
Jones, you had something to say?
No, let's say y'all can have it with this non-Dino Crisis game. Y'all can have it.
You're just mad because
What?
it's not Dino Crisis.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest.
with
Which,
Jones
to
on
be
that one.
fair,
I'm still mad
I'm
that
not
it's
upset
not Dino
it's not
Crisis.
Dino
It's not Dino Crisis.
but it's also like
But it's
really
very
fucking
cool.
fun. I'm
Yeah.
not-
It is pretty cool and kind of fun. It is fun though.
Did his thing, to be honest.
I played it. I got my time. I got my time out of it. I
Yeah,
could go
same
back
here.
to it too. Like I could just reinstall it. But I mean, we played a lot of
A
that.
lot out of it for
I'm
sure.
not watching that game.
Yeah, Devon unfortunately has not had a great experience with it though.
That's unfortunately, Capcom accounts be not cool sometimes. Unfortunately.
Unfortunately, when you have two of them and mix them up, apparently. It's really unfortunate.
So weird.
Okay, so Gangs of Shearwood. I don't think any of us actually played this.
Gangs of Sherwood, I think.
Sherwood, yeah.
Sherwood.
Sherwood,
No,
like Sherwood Forest, Robin Hood type of deal.
Yeah, it's Robin
From
Hood.
what I understand, it's supposed to play like, well, Amani, you remember the D&D game that came out a while ago? Like, forgot what it's called.
Yeah, if you're talking about the one I think you're talking about, isn't that game actually hot garbage though?
Yeah, that's my point though.
Oh,
Yeah, this game you can beat it in like 3 hours.
so
Gangs of Sherwood.
do we
the
move
full
it down?
I would say so,
Um,
but it's
I
like
haven't
under the
played
radar down. Like
I
it's.
haven't played it enough to like say that.
I don't have an
maybe
opinion on it
belongs
as much as I can,
down.
but I did hear the comparisons to it. Like,
That's
I
not
don't
a
know how I
good game
feel
to
about
compare to. It's
no, but
not.
it's very similar though. That's my biggest problem of it, though.
Hmm. Yeah. I guess
I'd say move
Like,
it down
the-
one for now, but I
The
wouldn't say
combat
like,
is the combat and movement is really good.
it did look like it was.
Damn, that shit going low.
But it is for a $50 game. It do be something
Oh
you can
yeah,
beat
nah,
like
yeah, it's
3
kind of
hours.
short. Yeah, no, 3
Yeah,
hours is kind of bugging
yeah.
for $50.
You know,
So,
I'm looking up to see if it was roguelike, and it isn't.
it's not
a
roguelike.
game.
Yeah, it's
But like, yeah, it's just a very short game. The
Okay,
combat and everything does look fun, but it's very short for $50.
Yeah.
I'll say with it going down.
Gargoyles.
I honestly I remember.
I never
this
played the
game.
remaster. I played like the original game like years ago though.
From what I remember from like a review or something like that, the Gargoyles is basically just copy and paste. There's nothing been improved, nothing been changed or anything. It's literally threw on the better graphics, and that's pretty much it. It's just the same thing, from what I can tell.
Arguably,
That might be a go down.
that actually might just be a mid. If
Yeah, I
it's
think this
remastered,
might be-
it was like it might just
Yeah.
be like, yeah, it just came out.
Mhm.
'Cause,
Like, it's just improved graphics, but not
nothing's
like
better.
the game.
It just looks better.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Which I mean, I guess that's not inherently wrong. So I guess right here it is. It's one of the games.
Yeah, no, I'm looking at reviews for it, and a bunch of the ones are just like it's basically still the original game, just ported. So
Mhm.
all of the issues that were in the original game are still
Are
there.
still
Like,
there.
They're still.
Nothing's
Yeah.
changed. Yeah, I would probably say that this is just a you stay right here.
It's a game.
It's a game. So the Green Hill incident. Anybody heard of this one?
Grey Hill incident.
No.
Grey
Grey
Hill.
Hill, my
Grey
bad.
Hill.
I've heard about this game. It's so it's a like hide and survival horror type of game where you have to hide against these gray aliens. It can get scary at times, but again, the aliens involve like the grays, the weird tall gray big-eyed aliens coming after you. So it's not that creepy in my eyes, I would say, but it's serviceable. Aliens don't really creep me out, at least not those designs.
Well, look. Luckily, we can look at Steam reviews. So Grey
The Grey Hill incident.
I don't know. Mostly negative. Goodness gracious. Mixed
Oh,
reviews.
There you go then.
Well, let's look
Alright.
at the reviews.
Let's see what it's about.
All right. So one of the huge missed opportunity. You get 5 bullets in the whole game, and the aliens take 2 bullets to kill.
Damn, that's
Ooh.
unfortunate.
So
Oh.
Jones, as a fellow survival horror connoisseur, how would you rate this based off that information?
Okay. It's really short, apparently.
I mean, from the gameplay that I saw already from just the usual people I watch on YouTube, I mean, it's just like what Five Nights at Freddy's. It's just like Slender Man. It's just like all the rest of them. I mean, it's just the fact that now they just use aliens, and aliens hasn't been really a concept in games for like a while besides Destroy All
Yeah.
Humans.
It's been a minute since we've gotten like a horror alien game, like other than like
Dead
look,
Space.
Alien,
Xenomorph?
well, Alien Isolation.
Xeno-
Alien.
And,
Yeah,
and
but
Dead
that-
Space,
that's
the Dead Space
different,
remake.
though.
I know, but I take that
futuristic. It's
a
always
little bit different. I take that always a little bit different because it is futuristic, like he's saying, but they like have their own differences. We haven't gotten like gray aliens or like Martians and shit like that. So
It's the
in a
Martian.
while. But yeah, apparently it's a really short game. The task, there's no waypoint system or anything in there. It's like the writing is pretty bad and it's like
Okay.
super short. So unfortunately, I would vote for this to go down.
This is a go
based
down.
off of everything.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody else agree?
Yeah.
Because I kind of agree with that.
Yeah,
Unfortunate
I
too, because
think so.
I remember seeing trailers for it and it looked kind of promising.
All right. Ghost Runner 2.
I did not play this game.
This game's a really
Unfortunately,
cool game. I will say
I
that.
love the original one. I was
you
hoping-
talked about it a pretty good amount.
Love the original one. Did not get a chance to play the sequel yet, though. I've seen like a lot of extra things they're adding to it. It's like, huh, it could be cool.
So we
I
thinking it goes
should
up.
go up just by
Yeah, just off pure quality,
so.
because like I know that
Yeah.
it's like basically the same as the first one, but better. It has more stuff.
You make it
I
first.
played a little bit of the second one. The second one's clean, but I haven't played enough to be like I've beaten it, and this is definitively better. Like I can't say that.
So there should be no argument on the next thing. Just put it up there.
Yeah, no, I'm just putting it up. I'll fight you.
Hyper Rush is definitely up there.
Yeah,
Hogwarts
yeah,
stays right the fuck where it is. It is a game that came out.
Damn, that's
Wow.
the Harry Potter fan saying it. So it
That's
stays
definitely
right
a
the
game
fuck here.
Wow.
I think I might be the only person here that played it as well. If I'm honest. I don't know
Designated
anyone else here that knows.
extinct.
Damon, didn't you play it?
Huh?
Damon, didn't you play it?
I played
Play
that
like
shit for like 4 hours. I'm gonna be honest with you, and I got way further than I thought I was going to. But the thing is, it was I like doing a lot of the cool shit, like flying around, you know, and like doing all the cool shit.
I
But
forgot this
doing my
game came out
everyday
this year,
classes,
honestly.
doing like my everyday just going around every day doing shit was so boring. I would get on and like maybe play for a little bit and then get off, like
What
do
about-
like the cool magic stuff.
What about you, Dave?
It was very mid.
Wasted $60.
because I know he played. it.
Wasted $60.
Damn.
Yeah, you got it too. It was very mid. The fun as I thought it was gonna.
That's unfortunate.
It was very literally. Tell me if I'm wrong, Devon. The moment you explore the entire castle, and you figure all that out, completely loses everything. It's so boring.
You just do nothing. You just have to do class.
You just gotta go to class, and then it's just like, God damn it, I don't want to fucking go to class. And then you occasionally get to go out and fight stuff because you do get to fight stuff, but it's like not worth it enough. It's the
Made the class like, nah, this is ooh, not it.
it was crazy, bro. Like it was very just it was a mid game. I honestly it was just so mid.
All right, let me do
I don't know if Devon, if you want to put it down, I wouldn't like vote against it. But me personally, it was a game that came out this year.
I mean, it had cool mechanics and shit.
It had some cool stuff. I think the dueling was fun, but you barely got to do it.
you had to like push through.
You had to push through all the boring shit to be like, oh, we're dueling today, yes, yeah.
What's something cool.
all that just to get to the better stuff, and you don't. If most people have to push through the boring stuff in the beginning, and they could
I've-
probably just stop there.
I've seen
I think it
people
should
that
go
like have
down.
like insane combos, and then I see like, oh, they put like 100 hours into the game. I don't want to fucking do that, bro. I don't want to put 100 hours in this.
It stays
fucking game.
mid because it's decent, but it has its bads.
Okay,
Let it be.
so it stays right there. Lies of P.
I think that should go up.
It
It should
sounds
go
like
up.
it should go up. Okay.
Yeah.
Anybody
I
else?
agree, it should go up.
I'm okay with
Pinocchio Bloodborne. It's great aesthetic, pretty good story, and I cannot wait to see what they set up afterwards.
Bro,
I also
I'm
think this
pretty
also
sure they're
looks like
gonna
this is a good
do.
job at, like improving
I-
on certain parts of Bloodborne.
I
and
think
stuff
they're
like
gonna
that,
do
too.
like I don't know if it's gonna be in the same game, but I think they're gonna do like a Wizard of Oz thing, which would be fucking cool.
That'd be
Mhm.
cool.
Oh, that would be.
So
That goes up. You know that goes up. Game of the year, bro. What do you mean? Best
Wait, what the fuck is
game
that?
to ever grace
Gollum.
the world.
this is Gollum.
Oh,
This
that,
is Lord of the
oh,
Rings
oh,
Gollum.
oh. I mean,
Yes,
I
as a-
actually-
Gollum. Mm.
Literally
Yeah,
the best
I would-
Lord
yeah.
of the Rings game ever
Joe,
made.
Joe, say your piece. Say your piece.
Shadow of War, what?
I
Shadow
mean,
of Mordor,
still-
nothing. You know, fucking
So-
Lord of the Rings on Xbox 360, Return of the King. Fuck that. You
Yeah,
know,
there you
like,
go.
I'm
Slide it
gonna
right to its
instantly
proper
choose
place.
violence by saying, do you want me to restart this conversation like I did with Joe Hoist the other day when it came to Five Nights at
No, we
Freddy's?
can do that.
Wait, you're actually defending Gollum?
No, I said I was gonna put him through the ringer by like I'm gonna talk shit. I'm gonna choose violence.
no, yeah,
No,
that game goes down.
Gollum does not deserve the defense. You're
No,
gonna-
no.
It goes right
Like,
here.
it goes-
It goes right here. Where
Oh
it
no,
belongs.
like
Everyone knows.
Gollum is about to be like, hey, you might
Is
as well just
that
go ahead and
Mario
play at the bottom
Brothers-
because compared to everything on
is
this
that
list right
Wonder?
now, Gollum is
Yeah,
probably
it's
gonna be
Wonder.
at the bottom. Like it's
Nah,
probably
no,
one of
Wonder
man,
goes
that's
up.
not
Period.
inherently true.
Yeah, there's some
but
worse ones. there.
Wonder goes
Mario
up.
Mario Brothers Wonder.
I
Wonder
played a
goes
little
up.
bit. It is
I played it
trippy.
go up.
It is fun though.
I'd say it
I
could go
haven't
up by
got
one
to play
It's-
it yet. I
I
wanna
feel
get
like
some
people
of
would
that.
fight us if we left it here, but that's kind of where I feel it should stay.
I don't think so because it did change up a lot of stuff. Like
No, it did.
it isn't just like it might look like another Mario game, but it did add enough
Okay.
new mechanics to it to make it different.
New mechanics, some weird trippy levels. So remember what I said about the musical number in Alan Wake 2? Mario Wonder does a similar fucking thing as well.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
So
They have a
more
lot of
people have
unique things
voted.
going on.
I would
only
say
gripe-
I don't think it should go up past this, but I think it should go up. I think that's
It's a good game. It does some change things.
That's
It doesn't
fair.
break the formula, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like it's as I said, it's a good game. My only gripe that I have with it is literally just one power up, and that's it. Because of the fucking fandom and fucking degenerates.
Oh, the fucking elephant one.
elephant
Yeah,
one,
yes,
yeah.
that's that. Yes,
yeah, we know.
that's the only thing I don't really like.
I
Other
also
than
don't
Bowser-
understand it
Look,
because
all I'm
it's the only
saying-
thing that turns him into an animal. Everything else gives him a suit.
All
Yeah.
I'm saying is
What do you mean?
Bowser likes him
You know
thick.
why.
Like
No.
yeah, most of his stuff, like all of them are their
Yeah.
suits. Wait, what? What about Bowser?
no,
Bowser
No.
likes him thick. That's all I'm saying.
no, no.
Honestly, I feel like the only reason why they did that is because they didn't want to put Flood inside the game. Because if that's the case, then it
Why
would
not
have
just
been
put the
Mario inside the elephant sloot, and then you would see Flood in the back, be like, "Oh, look, there's a little Easter egg."
I think the whole flood thing.
I think they like the idea of them just
They really
turning
could, like
into
they
it
want to
more.
do something with strength.
It just probably looked better than
Mhm.
like having
Yeah.
the weird suit on.
Elephants are in
But yeah.
danger.
I also love the fucking music so much.
Yeah, it's cute. It's very cute.
MK1, if Davon, you played it.
Look that up.
I've been thinking about this for a good minute.
I'm gonna be honest. Devon actually has a unpopular opinion about this game.
No,
to
he
be
has a very
completely
strong one.
honest.
Yeah.
It's
But Devon, say your piece. I want to hear it.
But he's also
my
one of
piece is
the
the
content
game.
creators.
It's a regular MK game. They didn't really add nothing to it, and the way to get skins in that game is it's a mode that you just go to. It's one like point on a map. You just go to each point and you fight a person, and the chance you might get something. You can turn left to go open a chest or something, and that's it.
Oh,
I-
it's like in MKX, like the graveyard.
It's
you
like the
can go
Yeah,
around.
but yeah, but
No, the crypt.
yeah.
You're thinking of the
The
crypt.
crypt,
Like-
yeah, but the crypt was
like-
just
No, it's not
unlocking
the crypt.
stuff.
It's not the crypt.
Yeah, but that's what the same thing here. I didn't like it that much, and that's the only way you can get skins in the game.
Okay.
Mhm.
So I was like, that is stupid.
But like gameplay
Some good.
wise, like
But-
go
but
up,
the
stay
replay-
here.
I say down.
Damn.
What about the narrative? What about the narrative, though?
I know,
It was
What
alright.
about the story?
Pretty good.
I'm sorry.
From what I can see.
That was a hard story.
I mean, isn't this like the third or fourth like literal reboot in Mortal Kombat? Like literally back to back. Like
I think it's the third
Mhm.
total.
It is the third
It's the
officially.
third one.
It's the better one from what I can see.
three of them things.
Yeah, no, they did a really.
I think
good thing.
I think narratively it's a way better one.
Mhm.
But I don't know about gameplay wise.
But a lot of people really like the gameplay for this one. That's why I'm like, Devon has a very unpopular opinion for this. But my man said down, and I'm like, wow.
It is a very grindy game, and the microtransactions are a little bit predatory from what I saw.
I mean,
And
Mortal
that
Kombat is
fucked
a
with
Mortal
me.
Kombat game. I
Yeah.
mean,
True.
I don't know who said it, but
Yeah,
someone
well-
said that because nobody wants to play like the extra modes, like you put in the cheat code or whatever to like make the match a little bit more wacky or whatever. No one puts that in, so Mortal Kombat is really not that fun anymore. So I mean, like you can just say that it's a Mortal Kombat.
I
game.
didn't like 11. I didn't play
11
it at all
was
either.
kind of trash. Well, I mean, it was slower
Mhm.
and everything like that. But like this one was
And-
supposed to be a lot faster, and you can do crazier stuff with it.
I don't know. You can do the jump and shit and do it more crazier. Like I
the
say the like
tags.
gameplay, like the new combos and stuff is pretty cool. I can admit that. But the way that you get skins in the game, it just ruined it for me. Like I'm not spending like hours and hours just doing mindless little fights.
Mhm.
No,
Fair.
I'm good.
I can understand that, but if anything, I can only see it going with the information now. I can only see it going to round one. Other than that, I don't think it should go higher. Just simply due to the fact that the story and the gameplay for what it gives.
Yeah.
Fine. It was very disappointing. It was very sad. They couldn't done better, but fine.
So it kind of sounds
That's
like
what
it
I said.
stands right here.
Yeah, let's say right there. Mid-ass game.
Okay. Yeah.
In this game.
Persona 5 Tactics or Tactica.
No idea.
Couldn't
Jones,
speak on
you're
this
the only
one.
other person that's played it besides me.
Honestly, okay, so I'm just going by from what I've been told from Wolf because, again, we can't really talk that much about it because spoilers,
Yeah, spoilers.
period.
Hmm.
But it has a long ass fucking intro. Like apparently the intro is like really that long, and I'm only in the middle of it right now.
Wow.
Like I only got like half the fucking squad back right
To
now.
be fair, tactics games do tend to take a long time anyway.
It does, and especially when you want to add in all the mechanics from just a regular Persona Shin Megami Tensei games too. That just makes it even more complicated. And then you definitely don't know how long the story is going to be. And so if it's a Persona game, like Wolf said, oh, then you're definitely looking at like 70 plus hours.
I would say it's fun so far. I'd put it past up to round 1, but I don't really think it's going past round 1.
Because it's a lot to do, and even then,
It's not a problem for having content. It's just like overall, like all these other games are doing like way more like interesting things. They're like
Yeah.
faster pace, and there's nothing wrong with like playing something a little bit more like, down to earth. But like, at least for
As
me,
a-
the story's not because the story for Persona is pretty great. But like, it's not doing anything that's gonna like put it
Pull you
above
away.
Baldur's Gate right now, or like Alan
no.
Wake currently. So
Mhm.
I'm like, well, you deserve to not be here, but I don't really know if you deserve to be here.
like honestly, it's another Persona side game that it just works well. It just won't get that far, like you said, compared to other games.
Yeah.
We'll wait to see what they're gonna do with next one or with Persona 3 Reload.
All right. So unless somebody want to be a body, this is going here.
Mid.
Garbage, trash. But down. Absolute trash story. Suit for Miles is just hot
Bro,
garbage.
honestly, that suit for Miles makes it go down around 1. Not gonna lie.
That Super Miles is pretty bad.
When you're able to play Venom, you can't play him for that long. Trash, fucking terrible.
I should shoot you though.
I don't see you
Meter
moving.
Man.
though.
Be happy you getting a game in the future, but it probably won't come out till like what, about 5 years from now.
I
This is
think
fine.
based off the league 6 years.
This is fine.
Damn, just
He makes it
just
even
one
worse.
game.
Bring it down. Brings it down.
Well,
Put it
this
down
ended
in
on a
game of the year.
cliffhanger. It ends
I mean, it's
pretty well.
okay.
I think the story is decent enough, and I think it belongs here. I'm gonna be honest. There's enough in it going on. I'm gonna fight for it to get as far up as possible, but for right now, this is easy. You deserve at least this.
I'm sorry, but it's
We
not
will allow
okay.
you this round, Amani Brown.
Oh, I'm gonna fight for this one. You better allow me this round too. So this is
How many
Quantum
can
Error.
make it past each round?
Quantum
Quantum what?
Quantum Error.
So like that low key has been on my list because of my usual ritual of just going through GameStop's pre-order list of games that's supposed to come out, and I really did not know what the hell it was supposed to be. There was like nothing about it out besides the title name. I forgot what year in E3 that shit was announced. And then next you know they send out this shit here and I'm like, okay, this is like some Fahrenheit 451 type shit, and at the same time you're trying to pull off the Hideo Kojima vibe it's kind of pulling off. I still don't know what the fuck the game this is. I didn't even know this shit even came out.
I never knew its existence until Lily just brought it up.
Well, that sounds like it belongs in the Midest Game of the Year report.
What is it though? Hold on, what's the name of it?
It's
Quantum
Quantum
Error.
Error. It's a
Quantum
survival horror game.
Quantum Error.
Let's look up some
Well, I can see
reviews.
like the stars of reviews. This like 5 stars and 3 out of 10, like some other places.
Let's
Not
look up
5
the
stars,
Metacritic
5 out of 10.
scores.
Yeah,
It's not on Steam. It's I guess a console release only.
it's on PlayStation. Looks like.
This is a $60 game.
How
Yep.
long is it?
I'm not saying I'm just looking at it. This is a $60. I just looked at.
Oh, here's an example. IGN gave it a 5 out of 10.
Oh,
Yeah,
So it's staying where it's staying.
It's exactly where
There's
it
no-
belongs.
There's no checkpoints apparently.
Oh God,
Wait,
it's several
what?
Vulcan is the checkpoints. That's awful.
That is
Oh
kinda
God,
scary.
we should put it lower. Holy what?
That is pretty scary.
Okay,
You
so
don't
it's
get any checkpoints.
stylish and creepy,
It
but
came
ruined
out
by
in
bugs, poor enemy
2023?
AI, checkpoint system, and story.
Oof.
Wow.
I mean,
That sounds like it's going down. That sounds
does
like
sound
more
like it's
negatives
going
than
down.
wow.
sounds like it's
Awesome,
going
just
down
for-
here.
Literally,
This
the second
game-
thing under the review on YouTube is worst game of 2013, not 2013,
Oh,
2023,
wow. Okay, is that bad?
and trash. So
Just straight trash.
Worse than we
the
thought.
thumbnail says trash, not the title itself. But
All right, Ravenbound.
Yeah, yeah. That game.
I'm gonna be honest.
Ravenbound. Let's see.
This is I played it. This is a mid game.
Mid
I
game.
want it to be good.
It's,
I
yeah.
want it to be better. I think the pure concept of it and what it does is like actually really cool. But like some of its controls and some of its systems kind of hold it back. And right now it belongs right where it belongs to me.
I can agree with that.
It belongs
A bunch of magic particles.
right here. Well, what it is, it's a roguelike. It's a I don't want to say God of War like. It's a classic God of War like game, but it's a roguelike. And the idea is that you are progressively gaining like little perks and power-ups. It's like these cards that will make your character stronger or give them certain buffs or things like that. And also each run you are like a different human, right? So like technically the main character is the Raven. The body you're using is like a shell. And those characters will come back with different perks and traits and things of that nature as well. Like different weapons, because they just start differently. Kind of like how in Rogue Legacy, for those that know about that one, how like each of your characters is like a different person, technically speaking.
Yeah.
It's like that. But the deal is that every time you get loot, or every time you get to make yourself stronger, the boss at the end of each level gets stronger. And so you kind of run into a bunch of problems with that. And on top of that, as you unlock different things, you also get like curses that'll make you weaker. So then it's like you have, but like by opening a chest by default, you make the boss stronger. So even if you got like opened a chest and got a curse that makes you weaker, the boss still got stronger. So it's very self-defeating with some of its systems, I feel. And so it's like it kind of needs to be right here.
It has a good concept, but it didn't execute it properly. That's
Oh
what it
yeah.
put it.
Like also a huge part of the game is that like each world, like each roguelike world you're in, it's like a little map, and you can turn into a raven and fly around and like fly over
The
there and
flying
explore.
around looks really
It's
good.
really cool. But like it needs work. It needs some work.
It needs some work.
Some reworking, honestly, not even just work. RoboCop, Rogue City.
Yeah, it's a random character. It'd be kind of cool for you to be able to create a character.
RoboCop. I played the demo. I haven't yet to own the game, but like I heard some really fun things with this. The gameplay itself is pretty dope.
I've heard the same thing. I've heard it needs to go up.
Yeah, I've watched multiple like people that I like on YouTube that I watched it play it, and every single one has seemed to have had like an amazing time playing it. I'm not gonna lie.
Shoot
Man,
heads, shoot hands, shoot legs, shoot dicks.
It feels like it captures the vibe of the classic RoboCop really well, and the gameplay itself doesn't look super like it's a story game, so it's probably just you finish it and it gets harder potentially or harder difficulties. So I don't think I would put it up. I think
It seems like an up to me as well.
I don't know how far it might go, but like I'd put it up.
We'll see how
Because
far you
it's
can make
kind of
it.
like an FPS, but it's also one of those you have to kind of aim and at things. It's a little different. The guns look pretty cool. You can obviously like upgrade like RoboCop, or you're playing fucking RoboCop, so you're a walking tank. You can like throw people, like pick them up and throw them, or like throw tables at people. It's kind of crazy.
All right. So I will admit, I have a personal bias against this. I fucking hate Pikmin. So Pele, save this game.
Why do you hate Pikmin?
Why? I think it's exciting for me. So Pikmin, I love the Pikmin series. It improves on a lot of details from the previous Pikmin series. That the gameplay's fun. Still walk around attacking monsters. Even to go competitive, go head to head with other creatures, learning out who's the better Pikmin master, or in this case, what they call it, the Dandori master.
Okay.
Yep, colorful and longer levels, and it's challenging. You actually get to go inside the house for fucking once. I like it's a great little game, and the fact that it got this far, especially with fan base, because like I just love it as a little niche game. Why do you hate it, Monty?
I just don't like it. I don't like anything.
Aw,
I
come
don't like
on.
anything about Pikmin.
I'm indifferent. It doesn't matter. I've seen
It's
it before, I
quirky,
played
it's
a little bit.
fun, it's harmless, and like it's cute.
I hate its
It's
art
also really-
style. I hate how the
it's-
super little. I hate how the Pikmin look. I don't like all of
So
them.
it's think of it like it's a more action or at least direct focus RTS because you are controlling troops with the Pikmin and everything like that. But it's always fun, like literally either throwing them at your enemies or like charge and then just taking down a massive beetle or a hairy dog in this case.
Like the whole Honey I Shrunk the Kids aspect is lame to me. I don't know how to explain it. Like it's just.
It's fun. This is moving around in a big little world and collecting
I'm
things. And
sure it is fun, but I just.
This is also like one of the most beautiful versions of Pikmin.
it is
also.
the
Like,
it
it
is
is so
It
pretty.
looks pretty fucking good on the Switch.
Everybody's
surprisingly
like,
Everything
enough.
it's
looks
so
so
pretty.
good.
Come on.
Honestly,
Like there's no
when it
way,
comes-
bro.
When it comes to the Pikmin story or the theory how people got it, like it's pretty up there. Like this is like The Last of Us before Last of Us. Like
Isn't there,
What?
like, one that eats Pikmin, something like that? There's someone that eats Pikmin, something like that. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, there's any creature that's not a Pikmin will eat said Pikmin.
No.
It's
One of the Martian, whatever the guys are, the Olimar. One of them like has
Olimar
like,
is
thing
a
about eating.
Hochokten. He is a humanoid tiny being that actually controls the Pikmin.
Yeah, that one of them like eats Pikmin apparently. From a
Yeah, that's Louis. He's a bastard.
Louis, yeah.
Bastard.
They're like, fuck that guy. But that guy specifically.
Like you're just a tiny little dude protecting your tiny little friends, bro. I don't think like
Exactly, it's cute. It's fun.
You're fighting for your life, and then on top
If
of that,
anything
all
else,
these other
treat
motherfuckers.
this something like a kid's first RTS because it does introduce them to the RTS concept.
Look, you guys voted for it, so it goes up. But I fucking hate
Yeah.
I don't understand the hatred. Bro.
I just
It's
don't
weird.
like it. Like every single time I've ever seen this thing be announced at anything, not even like Pikmin 4, I've been like, oh god, it's Pikmin. Like that's just how I felt every time. I'm like, ah,
Yeah,
it's
bro,
like-
he's a hater.
I don't
to
know
go.
how to actually describe my hatred. I just don't
He's a
like the game. And then
hater.
anytime it's been like something exciting for Pikmin, I'm like, this could have been something else. Like that's just how I feel. That's my entire
I'm happy as a
feeling
fan
towards
who's
it.
been waiting for years. I'm just happy this fourth entry to the series. Better to be also fair, like I'm happy it's something getting evolved versus like other series like F-Zero never coming out.
And you know what?
Ever.
I'm happy for. You know what? That's a perfect example. We could have F-Zero instead of Pikmin. I'd rather just have that.
But you know why that's not the case? Because Nintendo wasn't compete against itself with Mario Kart.
I know. But it's just like, it's not even me being salty about not having some of the stuff I wanted. It's just, I just don't like Pikmin. I just don't.
I mean, we could have another Star Fox, but Star Fox has kind of been trash for the past few
Pikmin
years.
has earned its keep.
Yeah, Pikmin has earned its keep,
It's
honestly.
That's funny.
It
Pikmin has earned his keep. Remnant 2. It doesn't deserve to be mid. It just
It's not mid. It's not
It's a
mid.
good
Its game is actually fun. Yeah,
It's
it's a
not
good game.
mid, but it's also not like that much better than Remnant 1.
It actually handles
I
better than
disagree with
Remnant 1.
that, yeah.
It handles much better than Remnant 1. The bosses are more wild and more distinct than I would say. Some harder to wrap your head around just conservatively, but it is pretty more engaging, I would say, than the original
Maybe I
Remnant.
haven't
I
played
also think
enough.
that the way that they approach loot is way more interesting to me.
A lot more diverse,
and like
for sure.
the classes and stuff like that as well is way more diverse in this one. Like the way
Jones,
you
what's
get
your
them and
opinion?
things like
Then
that.
you played with
It's
me a
more
lot
involved.
on it.
honestly, when it comes to both games, they're like the just the good games, honestly. Cause, like you said, movement does feel better, and shooting does feel better in the second game. Because in the first Remnant, my God, Jesus, it felt a little clunky.
I don't remember it feeling that clunky, but you know, I'll give it to you.
It feels clunky in comparison.
In
I feel like a
comparison,
con-
yeah,
on
I'll give you that.
controller. I feel like a controller. It's also I had a mouse and keyboard, so I had it.
And then the bosses were interesting because they definitely gave them more gimmicks than last time.
I find
And
this
they
one's
tried to
easier. Weirdly enough, I found Remnant 2 to be easier.
The,
You're not
some of
wrong.
the bosses, just some of the bosses.
I don't know what it is about it. I just find Remnant 2 to be easier.
But overall, I mean, it does its job. Like it, if you would to give it a score or just to even try to say it, it would be like the 8.5. While Remnant 1 would be like the 8.2. Like you did just enough to improve it just a little bit. It's notable. It's playable. You recommend it to a friend.
Imagine if you gave it points as opposed to just giving it a whole number score above itself. Calling
No,
it a
because
day.
like it like it's pretty much the same game. I mean, like the only thing that they did was they actually made it more engageable and they actually try to make the gameplay. They try to add more to the gameplay at least, and with the gimmicks with the bosses, and at least with how the whole
I think the
leveling
level
up
design in this
system-
one's a lot better in general. Like there's like in comparison, like there's actual level design in this, which is weird because
Yeah,
like it's
Remnant
still like Remnant 2 has actual like level design. It feels, even though it's still like randomized locations for the most part.
like in general, it's a vibe. Like, okay, I'm down to play with the friends. It's a vibe. We can do it.
Fair enough. Haha, Redfall.
Yeah.
I stay so standoffish on this to this very day. No, just put it down. We're not gonna talk about this shit.
Nah, we could though. Does it
We-
deserve
we
to
will
go
talk about
down or
this.
should it be mid?
Sir, the way that
Broken
we
upon
talk about this, the
launch.
same way we talk about Dead Island 2, we don't talk about it after it launch.
Oh my god.
No, we
Broken
definitely
upon
talked
launch.
about this.
Yeah, broken upon launch. Gunplay doesn't feel that. Boss fights will die in literally 3 hits, where like regular enemies will be more likely to kill you than the actual bosses. Stories done through literal notes, not
Ew.
like through audio logs or anything like that. Cutscenes are really just stock images of just moving around the camera on a solid telemetry, and it's just a weird ass game. Makes not a whole lot of sense or even engaging as a shooter. It's just not fun.
And this is the thing that makes everyone doubt that Blade's gonna be good, but apparently it's gonna probably be pretty sick, honestly. Considering.
Well, this is Arcane Austin, the
Yeah, it's not the
one
same
in
studio.
Texas.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's definitely going down.
it's going down.
Yep. Street Fighter 6.
Dude, I'm gonna be honest with you. I fucking hate that dude's design.
Oh, Luke.
Yeah, I
That you're
fucking
allowed.
hate it.
You're allowed.
I
You're not the only
fucking
one.
hate that
You're,
design.
you're not
His
the
design
only one.
honestly makes me want to just say fucking put it. The fact that they had the audacity to make that nasty looking Popeye looking motherfucker up there and like on the fucking cover of it, like what do you mean, bro?
So the
He's
He
a
beard
looks-
Chad. They want him to be the next generation face instead of
His
Alex.
forms, like I get what they
it
were
should have
going
been Sean.
for. I get what they were going for, but it looks so fucking stupid. It looks so dumb, bro.
Look,
Like it's like literally like Popeye, and Popeye looks cool because he's a cartoon, but he just looks cartoony in the worst way. Like he looks like a One Piece character that showed up to fucking Street Fighter for some fucking reason. I hate it so
goddamn.
much. It's so fucking dumb. I don't give a shit if fucking Street Fighter fans get after me. I don't give a fuck. He is a stupid. Every other character they added, badass. Him, retard looking, bro.
Jeez.
Yeah. Like every other, they have him on the cover, Amani. They have some badass chicks on that in that game. They have that big buff Spartan chick,
Oh yeah,
and they
Marissa
have
is
this
really cool.
four-armed mutant fucking tumor ass having dude on the fucking cover. It's crazy, bro. Like what the fuck? Like, those are fucking tumors. He needs to go to a fucking MRI, get a fucking MRI. That is not natural.
It's just really hates Luke design. Look,
I fucking hate that design, man. I'm sorry.
I am-
It's pissing me off.
I am milk toast on
I
Luke.
understand.
I think he's
I
alright.
completely
I think he's a cool addition, fighting wise, mechanics wise. I think technically this is a better design than the last one he had, but there's like a huge question mark on that to me. But like Luke isn't inherently my favorite either. But
I don't know
like,
about the gameplay. I've seen the gameplay is pretty good.
oh yeah,
I like it.
gameplay wise, this game is fun. There's a lot of World Tour.
I
mode is
watched you
actually
guys.
super
I watched
fun.
you guys play it a lot. Like walking around beating the fuck out of old grannies and shit. You know what I mean?
World Tour mode was super cool. I'm gonna put it up because I think this is probably the biggest glow up Street Fighter has ever had in general.
Luke as a character.
That's not to the
Luke,
Down.
Yes,
Luke
it-
not the
well,
best representative. It
yeah.
should have been Sean.
Oh no,
but
the
it's
World
fine.
Tour mode is probably the
It
best
should
like
just be-
single player experience I've ever had in a fighting
It
game.
could have been any
Yeah.
of the other new characters. It could have been any of the other ones. The ballerina chick, like what the fuck?
Oh,
She's-
Manon.
like,
Yeah,
what-
it could have been Manon.
could have been any of them. It's fucking crazy to me. Anyways,
Oh, that's funny.
Mario RPG
Yes.
remake.
It should go at least go up.
It should go up.
It should go up.
It should go up.
Anybody against it? It's
On my
it's
list
the
to play,
remake.
but that's down the line.
Yeah, go up.
Go up.
See it going up.
All right.
Let the Mario shit go up.
So, midfield stand right here.
Midfield go down. No, midfield go down.
Damn, really?
Midfield should go down because like
Midfield go
remember,
down.
I was
should go
disappointed
down.
when the game came out. Like a lot of
No.
things, it's like not bugs or anything like that. Just general design choices made me mad.
Among
Like, it just
modders that have been modding since like
They
fucking
gave
up.
Fallout 3
They
gave up on Starfield. They gave up on fucking Starfield. You
Okay,
know how
so-
fucking bad of a game you have to be for Bethesda fucking fans to go, nah, man, I'm done.
I'm
These
I'm
fuckers
sick of
are
it.
like these people have fucking Stockholm syndrome, and even they were like, nah, man, this shit's too boring.
Oh no,
Because
let's
it
give-
is.
Yeah, no, let's
Damn.
give an example. Let's give a quick example. So, one of the basic mechanics, especially with a big RPGs like that, you need to have a local map to know exactly where you are. The local maps in Starfield are non-fucking existent.
Oh,
You
yeah,
don't
no,
know
that's
where
pretty
the
trash.
fuck you are.
I'm not gonna lie, most of the
Goddamn.
backgrounds don't fucking do anything. Realistically, there's a handful of them that actually change some aspect of the game.
Mhm.
In my opinion, the guns suck dick. I don't think the guns
Yeah,
are
no,
They
you
don't
mentioned
sound
you don't
good.
like. You don't.
I
the
don't like
design.
I don't like the design. I don't like I've seen a full every single gun in the game. I've seen a full breakdown. There's a ton of guns in the game that I just don't like how they look. They look like overcomplicated sci-fi shit that doesn't even make sense when you really kind of look at it from
Wait,
an outside
But
perspective.
you like a lot
you
of
know?
Destiny's guns.
Yeah, but that's different. That's almost space magic, Amani. There's a
That's
difference
true.
between
I just want to
literally
make sure.
space
I just want to
magic.
make sure that
Okay.
it's
like
being,
there's a big
addressed.
difference in Destiny. Is a lot of like there's a I put aside a lot of logic because it's like, oh, how'd you get this gun? I literally killed a god and I gave it to this robot and he made a gun out of it. Okay, cool. You know, like I'm not gonna ask for logic from that, but this is a game that's based at least a little bit more in reality in our world because
Earth
it's more
did
like
take a piece
more
of
like hard-
Eric's soul
more like
and put
hard
a
science
clock on
fiction.
it.
And like it's kind of cool because there's a couple of like there's a double barrel shotgun in a 1911. It's like, oh, those look nice, those feel nice because they probably have like models from different games that they use for it. But
Mhm.
like there's a ton of the guns in the game that when you look at them just from an outside perspective and you see them fired, you're just like, what the fuck? What the fuck is going on with this thing? What is all of this shit? It's the same problem that Bethesda have with like a bunch of their guns. Like they just put so much shit everywhere that it almost loses sense as to where the gun is in some situations.
It's like, what
And I don't like the way
exactly
they
is fine?
sound. I don't know. The game feels bland. The music, the music's not good.
It's pretty sleep inducing. I'm not.
I don't know. I feel like this is down. This is down, and in my opinion, it should go down further.
damn.
'Cause it's like I think people cut Bethesda too much fucking slack, bro.
Oh,
They are
I
a
gave him
fucking
no
AAA
chill
fucking
when a game that
company.
came out.
This
that,
is a
that game
$60
deserved
fucking game.
everything.
They didn't have
This
the
game
money for
So,
it.
sucks
and
dick.
this,
They can
okay,
make
no.
a good game.
I
There's
literally blamed
decades old-
Skyrim.
Damn.
There's decades-old bugs and issues from both Skyrim and Fallout 4 and beyond, and they still haven't fixed it in this fucking game.
Bro, like people cut Bethesda so much fucking slack, and it's slowly going away. And I've been watching fucking road so that they can crash and fail as a fucking company
He was
someday,
like,
and
"I've been
maybe
waiting."
decide, oh, maybe we'll make a good fucking game, and people might actually be like, holy shit, this game's good. We'll buy it. We'll, you know, people
Like-
just like, oh, it's Bethesda. Models will do it. Models will fix it. Why? Why the fuck do modders have to fix a fucking game? It should play fine. You know, like it's a fucking game. I'm paying for it. It's fucking retarded. Like Fallout 76 is functioning now. But how long did it take for it to become a game that was actually
5
worth?
years, and it's now 17 million players.
You know, it took a long time for them to be. They stuck with it. You know, to their
And
credit.
they got it to work. They got it
But
fucking
like,
work.
holy shit, 5 years, like at least 3 years for it to be worth its actual price. No, fuck that.
The idea of
You know,
modders
I'm
giving
tired of
up
that.
on this game is kind of wild. Because this
And
one had more
Starfield,
I feel like this had more potential than anybody trying to make fucking 76 work. But like, damn.
you know, the ship flying is kind of boring. It's cool at first, but it gets old.
Oh no,
really
I hated
quick.
it. I hated it. Like, I
Like-
started touching it and was like, oh, this is garbage. I don't like
it was
this.
for a couple of minutes. It was fun, and then it just
Yeah,
gets boring.
and it doesn't get good until apparently, according to some fans,
Anyways,
12 hours in.
this game
That
goes
is a
up,
lot of effort
Amani.
just to
That
get
game goes
good.
up.
This
You
game
and
goes
you were
up.
showing it to me and Joyce, but I've watched like people play this fucking game. Oh my
Yeah, this
god,
game goes up.
that game goes up.
Slay the
That's
Princess.
Slay the Princess. We should play. Davon also needs. Dude,
Yeah,
this
no, I
game
need-
goes
I
up.
need
Best
Davon.
game of the year. Come on,
D-
come on.
Oh,
You know,
best
Day Before is best game of the year.
Kill the
Oh.
woman. Kill her.
Oh, that's actually game of the year.
Killer.
I played it.
Come on, bro. It's amazing.
The day before.
Yeah,
Let's
no.
go ahead and slide this.
Technically speaking, it shouldn't even be on here. It's technically an early release, quote unquote. But
Yeah, but also
it's
development
not
has
gonna get
actually
any
ended
support.
for the game. So
Development
By the
is
way,
also
time.
ended. It's also out.
This shit's a scam. This fucking company's got to be a scam. They fucking changed all of their names on all of the fucking games and everything. These people are fucking crazy. That's insane to me that they released this shit.
They heisted the money and it was out.
They fucking took all that money and just said, "Haha, here's this fucking looter extractor game, and you get to play this shit and then buy. You know,
the
see
day
you later."
before, the day after.
The day before, and then the day after, bro.
I feel like they should go up just because of the name. I'm be honest with you. The day before and then the day after. It's a perfect kind of thing.
It's insane
happening.
to me that
It's
so many
kinda
people bought
crazy.
this fucking game. I've been seeing videos about this game being a fucking scam for well over a year and a half.
And the
I
people
remember
still
seeing
got
a video for over like
Yeah.
over a year ago.
People want to
of
be
people
like
being
faithful,
hey,
like, oh, this game is not a
this
scam.
move-
Like,
this game is a scam. Okay, all the trailer shit they're showing us, this is all pre-rendered shit. Nothing here is actually in game. Okay, we have like a bunch of fucking people on YouTube were like trying to warn people this is a scam, and I'm like, okay, good, I'll steer clear of this. And then it came out, and people fell for it, and I'm like, damn, motherfuckers, what? Do a little research on the game for like 4 seconds. You could look up the day before on YouTube, and before the trailers, you would get scam, like videos of YouTubers being like, "This game is a scam."
He's looking up
Okay,
scam.
this game is a fucking scam, and I'm like, damn, at that point, that's just natural selection. No offense, you know what I mean?
If you lost money on this is on you. I'm sorry.
I'm not gonna lie. If you defend this game, also, what's wrong with you? Please get some psychological help.
Get some help.
You know?
Stop it. All right. So this Yakuza game, Yakuza Gaiden, man who erased his name. I'm gonna say it goes up because it's got good quality. It's a nice little Yakuza game. I don't think it goes past this though.
I don't.
It's
see
Sega's
it
little
staying
baby.
there.
It's good quality. It's really good quality what they're doing with it. I think I actually really like some of the gameplay stuff that they did to improve. But out of everything here, I don't think it goes up into here. But it does get out of
How many can advance into round 2?
not many.
There has to be a
Oh
limit.
no, it's a defending point. Like,
It's a
but you have to
defending point.
argue for it. Yeah.
You gotta get it. You gotta convince people to go up or go down. All right. So after much fighting, we go into round 2. And we're gonna start with the
Round 2.
trash ones. Actually, we're gonna go for trash first. All right. So what's going forward? It's trash.
Naruto.
It deserves worse.
Starfield.
Starfield.
Damn. I don't know if it deserves to
Starfield,
go further.
Gollum, the day before.
Okay.
Honestly, no. I don't think Gollum deserves to go on to the one. The Gollum
What?
was a full. As
Do
much
you
as it
want
might
me
have
to choose
sucked.
violence, sir? I'm sorry.
Look,
Do you want me to choose
Yeah, I
violence?
don't know, man.
No.
I don't know, dog.
I don't like the game. It was a fucking horrible game. Don't get me wrong. But it was a fully completed game.
Fire.
Okay? And that may not have run well, but it was a fully completed game. All right? And honestly, I feel like this is a game that was expected to suck. And if you expected it to be good and bought it with intentions of it being good, I don't know what you were thinking. Like, genuinely.
I
don't
mean, that's
know.
kind of
Like,
facts. That's kind of
Honestly,
facts.
you know.
Let's be
Oh,
serious here.
on.
Who the fuck would have asked for this shit? Okay, even as a Lord of the
No one
Rings
did. No
fan,
one
and
did. Everyone said
like-
when it got announced. Nobody was like, "Who asked for this?"
Who
Actually.
asked for this? Yeah, no, that was like the
That
first
was
question out
the-
of all.
Out
of
of
them.
all
the genuine response.
all characters is literally Gollum, and I'm like, wait a minute, who was Gollum again? Pele had to remind me. Really, that motherfucker? That's like saying, hey Sony, what happened to the Mary Jane and the Aunt May movie? Remember that shit?
Oh, don't remind
Like-
me.
It was a completely unnecessary game that really should not have happened. Honestly, I mean, okay, you know what?
No, it
accept
probably
going
shouldn't have got
around 2.
greenlit. I'm gonna be completely
I'll
honest.
accept it going around 2. I'll accept it going around. I'll
Okay.
fight.
Go ahead and go down there. There you go. Now Starfield.
Starfield,
Starfield fight.
it deserves to go on.
All right.
I
Does
blame-
everyone
It
else
deserves.
agree that it deserves to go on to round two.
Starfield fundamentally is like it's just okay. It's not a broken game. It is just a game that hasn't been updated in over 2 decades. I would say at this point.
It just feels
But
boring.
it is a
It
brand
feels-
new IP, and it's one of the things
It's a
that
brand
people
new IP,
wanted them to do.
but
They
it
wanted
has-
them to do a brand new IP.
Yes, but it's
No, I know
following
it's
a
a brand new
philosophy
IP,
of
but
game
it-
development that hasn't been updated in a very fucking long time.
Like it might be a new IP, but the way that it plays and the way that you're supposed to play the game is exactly the same as
As
every
what-
other Bethesda.
Yes.
But mind
as
you,
a Skyrim.
I want to put this out, and
We have
I
Starfield
can't
at
believe
home.
I'm defending this right now. It is not broken, right? It's not a broken game. It is a complete package. It has all the time that people want to play in it, and people have played in it. Like there's that one dude that played like 33 times, and there's the
Mhm.
whole multiversal
Finding
mechanic at the end. That's really cool. Like people have played through the game. The
yes,
stealth barely
Like-
works, but it's
like,
not. You know,
Amani, I know, but this game is like it is literally just Skyrim in space.
but
I know that that's what people might
We
quote unquote
have-
have wanted,
Yeah.
but there are the mechanics for shooting. The shooting feels outdated. Like it just feels, as much as people say it's mid, I don't think it's mid. It's below
No.
mid. It was mid in like 2014. Now it's
We have
just old.
Starfield at home.
You
Mhm.
know.
honestly, but
And especially that it's Bethesda, a AAA company that is like you have to hold these companies to a higher standard because it's not an indie company or
Well,
a
yeah,
small
but,
studio
like,
making this. This is a
on-
they spent years, bro.
now,
They
here's
spent
my
years
thing.
making this fucking thing.
on literally right next to it is another game made by a AAA company that is falling apart.
That wasn't made by their main studio though.
But that's
That
still
was
a
made by
AAA
one of
company,
their. Oh, absolutely.
and it's
but
falling
they also,
apart. Like it's
they
actually
also
like
only
falling
had-
at the seams.
They
Yes.
only had like it's gotten updated apparently, but like the game only had like 2 years I think or something like of development. It had a very short development time. How long were they fucking working on Starfield?
Starfield, nearly
look as-
8 years, nearly
on the
8
best
years.
computers, it still doesn't look amazing. It's really just boils down to, hey, go check this out. Oh, this
So,
is cool.
in terms of
Starfield
broken
at
versus
home. It's called No
yeah,
Man's
so
Sky.
I will say this, Samani, what's worse, broken or fundamentally just bad?
I would.
Like as
Hmm.
I would say Redfall. I mean, I could see it going on too, but Starfield, I feel like should go on. It's
Yeah,
just such
so-
a letdown of like a cool idea that could have been something interesting.
One
To me,
example I want to
everything
bring
is
up.
so
For
basic.
sure.
The
One
the
against-
factions you get the factions you get in Starfield, Amani, don't do anything. They are
Yeah.
the
They're
same
not
exact
really-
fucking thing. They are pointless. So
Yeah.
much of the actual RPG elements of Starfield are pointless. They
Yeah.
don't do shit.
One like specific mechanic, or at least like a design feature that I found like was inherently flawed. So you know how in the previous games, especially when Witcher 3, there only has to be about 40 minutes at most of nothingness of travel
Hmm.
that player must experience before something happens. Starfield can upwards of 5 minutes of just nothing fucking happening as you're just walking around on a fucking planet.
Like you can be walking in a straight line for like forever, and it's just nothing. It's literally nothing. It
Okay.
feels just so empty and dead, and like it's
Hey,
it's
Dave
like
Vaughn?
bruh. It was like
Avon left.
He vanished.
Okay. Leon.
I think it should go down if that's the case because
Okay.
the fact that it took 8 years off from this company specifically, it should have shown more
like almost
potential in the
Jones.
game.
What about you, Jones?
Like I said, we have Starfield at home. It's called No Man's Sky.
Yeah.
So
But
Honestly.
it's actually already better. No Man's Sky got updated better.
all right, Starfield's down.
Exactly. Plus the fact that since everybody says that it's basically Skyrim is space, that also lets me give me another chance to shit on Skyrim fans because how many years have we had this shit now? And what exactly it was a game that stayed a standard now, and now it's done. Give us 6 and watch that shit. That shit better have some good ass side quests because that's all Bethesda needs. They need writers for fucking side quests. Their empty worlds are shit.
Like they need to update just like the game loop of the like just in general how things work.
All right. So
right.
Redfall, is that going down?
Yes.
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
Redfall's broken. It was a broken game that hasn't. Well, I didn't even know it was
Um,
fixed at this point. But honestly, I don't bother to care.
Crime Boss.
I know Devon wanted. I think Crime Boss, as much as it was a letdown, it also wasn't like something that I was like, oh, this game's gonna be fucking amazing.
True.
You know, it kind of just came out of nowhere, and then I kind of immediately when I saw everything, I knew that it probably wasn't gonna be great.
I feel like Crime Boss
Yeah.
kind of deserves to be where it is in the round.
Yeah.
one. Same thing with
Yeah.
Dead Island.
Dead,
too.
Dead Island, I feel like Davon would argue go for it to be put down. Honestly,
You think so?
I
I feel like it
as-
belongs here. Because I
Dead
think, like,
Island
gameplay
is
wise,
bad.
it came out and it's not buggy. It's just boring.
It's just such a boring fucking game.
It's bad mid. That's all it is. So,
Yeah, I
if
mean,
you
I
stay
don't
there-
really, I don't really care enough about it, so I would leave it where it is. But I feel
Yeah.
like Davon would argue that it would go down. It was
Gangs of
16
Sherwood
too.
being 3 hours is kind
It's
of wild.
yeah, but I feel like again,
Stay here.
you know, I feel like it should stay there. You know,
Just stay there.
Okay.
You know, I feel the same with those other two as
These
well.
other two.
You
Alright.
know, honestly.
All right. Round one. I guess round two really for the good
All
stuff.
right, look. Let's go ahead and put the ones that are going to move on to round two. Baldur's Gate's definitely going up.
Okay.
We know
Let's move
Spider Man's definitely going.
Spider-Man's going up. I
We
say
know
Alan
Resident
Wake.
Evil and Alan Wake are probably going up.
Yeah,
I
I
I
say
agree.
think,
Alan
those
Wake.
I think
Uh,
those we can all
16
agree
should
should go up to this.
They should go up.
Yeah.
16 should
Okay
go
with
up.
that?
Uh,
16.
Final Fantasy 16. I haven't played it, but I've seen a lot of.
I disagree.
I don't know if it should
Oh.
go up. I have no qualm in this.
Well,
I-
your fight.
Hi-Fi Rush should go.
Hi-Fi Rush should go up.
Hi-Fi Rush
Hi-Fi
should go
goes Okay, where's Hi-Fi?
Bottom left. Well, I mean, not bottom
Oh,
left,
I see, it's
middle
not-
Yeah,
left.
the middle there.
There we go.
I want to say Dead Space should go up.
Dead Space.
Yeah, I like
I
Dead Space
don't-
quite a bit.
I don't have an argument with Dead Space.
You have an argument?
I don't have an argument for against Dead
Okay,
Space.
okay, you don't have an argument. Okay.
But
Anybody else?
I think-
the big thing for
I
me
don't
is that
know.
it's a remake, but I'll put it up.
I mean, so was Resident Evil 4.
That's true.
I mean, hey,
That is
hey,
how
hey,
I feel
first of
about that.
all, Resident Evil 4, but Resident Evil 4 is up there for a reason. Okay, I mean,
I'm gonna
that's
be honest with you. It's gonna be real
Really?
hard for these two to get here. Just in my
Well,
opinion.
really?
And that's absolutely fair.
To
for it.
me, it's gonna be real hard for those two to get here.
man, I can argue for it right now. I can argue
Um,
for it right now for Resident Evil to stay up there.
Is there anything else that feels like an easy go up?
no,
Not really for me.
I don't really.
Not. I love
I mean-
Dredge, but it's no. I wouldn't say it's game of the year for sure.
Would you say Liza P?
Liza P is pretty good.
It is pretty good. It's like it has everything I wanted out of Bloodborne for years, so I want to say it does go up there.
Yeah, it is
It was-
improvements. Yeah, it's
a
giving
lot
us-
of improvement.
Yeah,
I'd
it's giving-
say
it's
I'd say
giving.
it goes up. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah,
giving.
Liza P definitely does deserve it. I would say then.
I feel like people will argue me on anything else.
I was gonna argue Final Fantasy 16.
Yeah, you
I was
do
gonna
wanna
argue
Final
against.
16.
I wanna
Well,
argue against
That's
it,
why
yeah.
it's still here. We know 16 is gonna be argued. I would argue for Bomb Rush to go further up, but I don't.
I wouldn't argue against it. I actually would agree.
Is anybody else? Would anybody be opposed or wants to argue Bomb Rush?
No, I wouldn't be opposed. I don't have any knowledge on it, but yeah, I wouldn't be opposed.
That's a really great
I-
music, great skating. It's
It's literally a spiritual successor to
Jet Set
to
Radio.
the game that they announced after fucking they made.
The game came out. They was like, "We love it," and they were like, "We should probably make another one of those."
Yep.
You know, they were immediately
losing
like,
money.
"Oh yeah, that's right." But
That's money on
you
the
know,
table.
I'm okay with it going up. I would argue with it going to a nomination
Okay,
as much as I like
Um,
it.
I'm gonna be honest. This Princess is on here too, and considering what it's doing, I would argue it should go up.
He said kill the bitch.
You know,
Uh,
she is. I would agree. I think like it's the way that it generates a story and you can do everything.
And the
I mean,
story you're
it's
going
kind
with,
of
yeah.
like
It's very cool.
it's like a nice. I mean, it's not nice. It's actually pretty terrifying. But
And the
I
writing-
like
yeah,
the
it
way
is
that it's
terrifying.
done.
The writing is also extremely
it's
well.
conceptually terrifying. There's some thematic themes in there, like holy shit, that's mind breaking.
I think some of the when you were playing, some of the decisions suffered from the problem of you would choose them, and I would interpret them in a different way than what the game was trying to do. And
Oh, yeah.
I'd be like, oh, okay, that's not what I want at all.
Also,
That's
to
like-
be honest, the idea of having your previous run come back as a party member that talks to you is
yeah,
like such an amazing idea to me that I'm like, yeah, no, this is
It's
cool.
like, hey, dude, look, this is what happened last
Last time.
time.
I don't trust this.
I don't trust this fucking thing. What is your
Uh,
argument against Final Fantasy 16 though?
Yeah, no, let's
So,
let's, let's have this fight.
My argument for Final Fantasy 16, it is a good game and for it, but it is also a very easy and it's fun hack and slasher. I'll admit that, but it's not a Final Fantasy title. It is not as deep I was hoping to be as an RPG mechanic because the game is not really an RPG. It is not. You play as Clive, and that is it. You just go through a story, and you just have fun hack and slashing and everything like that. There's not really much RPG mechanics. There's not much leveling up. You do level up some of his equipment, but like at most 6 pieces, and maybe Torgal the dog. That is it. And oh yeah, the move sets, which is cool, but again, it's not really what I was expecting out of it because I played both Final Fantasy 7 remake as well as 15, and they do it much better in my opinion, mixing both the action hack and slash element with the RPG stuff. It's missing it almost entirely from this game, and I feel it's lackluster because of that. It's just not a Final Fantasy title.
I disagree, and I also feel like when this game got announced and we were told that the developer of Devil May Cry was gonna make it, everyone said Final Fantasy, but like Devil May Cry, cool, sounds on board, right?
Yes, but yeah, no, but Devil May Cry than Final Fantasy because there's not really much of that in there.
I think that's fine, considering that Final Fantasy kind of changes its identity from title to title. Like every time there's a different number, there's like just completely different systems. Like for crying out loud, 14 is an MMO.
Yes,
I
It's
mean,
not-
it
it's
does,
not
it does
the
that
same thing.
after a while. Because I mean, like, okay, I think it's like every 3 or 4 games. That's when they have to change up the style.
It's not even that.
Because-
Every numbered title usually is a different style of RPG. This one just happens to be
I about to say,
character action.
what you mean? Like, okay, so I know the original games up to like 7 were all just classic RPGs,
Hmm.
especially coming out on the Super Nintendo. Then what? 7, 8, and 9 were the action RPGs afterwards.
No, because they
and,
still
like,
had
3D
very different
polygon.
systems. 7 had the materia system, which was not found in the original ones, which was a
Mhm.
completely different system for everybody as far as like how your character was built and things like that. Like, yeah, sure, there was like turn-based, but like they still had varying mechanics between those games that were like
'cause I was about to say, like, overall, in
exclusive
general,
and
like,
different for like that specific game. And like as time, because that's the thing about Final Fantasy that I think I've noticed more than anything else, as like time has gone on and technology has caught up to what they want to do more with the franchise, they've pushed the series in more of an action oriented route. Like
Mhm.
even Final Fantasy 7 remake is kind of played in like this like character action RTS kind of thing going on where you could stop time and do stuff, but then at the same time you're like fighting in real time, and like it's different. It's very different. It's not even how the original one played at all, but like it's extremely different. So to say that like this one isn't a Final Fantasy game, even though like this is the one that they decided would be more of a character action game, and I don't think that makes it a bad game either. I think it actually makes it really
No, I'm
cool.
not saying it's a bad game. I just don't think it's a Final Fantasy game in any traditional sense or even RPG sense. Because again, like I said, there's not really much of role playing or even building a character as much of it as like outside of certain moves and styles for it. And you just have the one character too, instead of a whole party, which I really miss in old school RPGs. That's also my complaint. Even like a similar comparison. Compare this to Dragon Age 2. More action heavy style, but less of the RPG mechanic because you have less to do with other characters. You still control.
I still
have
think
them
that
in
the
your party.
narrative, I still think that the narrative and the world and everything about it is still very much Final
Oh,
Fantasy.
and that
Yeah,
was never
that's
my
the main
complaint.
thing for
I'm
me.
complaining mechanically.
But mechanically, I mean, it doesn't have to match up inherently with the other ones because each one has its own identity, which we've
No,
just
but
established. That each one has its own
even
identity.
even which has its own identity, but even still, like in terms of like it should have made it better because like they introduced it with 15. It was only the one game that actually used the mixed mechanic as well as 7 remake. That's only 2. And remake I really don't think should count in terms of generation because it's a remake of the original title, not a continuation of the of the whole franchise. So
False. It's a
that's
sequel.
why it's technically a sequel. Yeah. So it's also technically a sequel too. But anyway, but with that mixed mechanic, I thought that was a good meeting point of both the RPG mechanic as well as the hack and slash direction they were going for. This kind of just goes a little too far on the actions heavy side and almost entirely eliminates the RPG stuff. Like it just feels too railroady, which is fine in its own sense, but I just didn't expect it out of a Final Fantasy title. That's all.
It's basically Final Fantasy Witcher, but it's Devil May Cry mechanics instead of Witcher mechanics.
Witcher had better RPG mechanics than this.
I mean, I don't know. I guess it's definitely going for Witcher vibes with the idea of like a much darker tone.
Yeah,
how you,
and
like,
but
go
again,
about
I'm
the
not
world.
complaining about the theme or the world. That is fine. I have no issues with that. Again, mechanically, I'm just complaining.
But your complaints are that it's just not the same as the other ones. Whereas like mechanically,
It's
I
not
think it
what I would
actually.
expect.
I think
Yeah.
it plays well though. Like even as a character action game, it's a good character action
Oh, it's a
game.
character action game, but like I said before, I just do not see it as a Final Fantasy game, even less so as an RPG.
Well, Final Fantasy games are very much based off of what their stories, their RPG, the story, and
The world.
no, those are
yeah.
the main two things: how the story is executed and the RPG mechanics. Yes, this is how the RPG mechanics, but somewhat like a light variety of it. But the story itself very much carries the for what it is, the gameplay and everything else. Because if the story was shit, then I wouldn't have cared for this at all. The story is amazing, personally.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
So
I believe it should go up.
again, my argument is not to say it's a bad game for it. I'm just complaining, like again, RPG wise, it is by and large, I would say the weakest because again, you don't really do much to role play as a character. You just play through Clive's story the entirety and not either make any changes, which I get as a Final Fantasy title, you don't really get to make changes in the first place. But as just leveling up your character as you go through, especially a party, changing up the skills and spells and stuff. It just feels so, again, light. It just feels so light in comparison to the previous titles. And I get that's what they're going for, more action heavy, but like you shouldn't have sacrificed what was a general set tool for RPGs just for this. I just feel like it's just too forward in action and missing kind of the point of what made Final Fantasy Final Fantasy.
I don't know. I feel like this is kind of low key what they'd be kind of going for sometimes, depending on which game they want. But like, they can't do it to certain games because they're kind of founded in what they are.
Mhm.
So like,
Mhm.
you can mess around with 7 because 7 has had a bunch of different games, right? So you
Yes.
can play around and do some different things. But if you say that you're gonna remake 7, then you gotta remake 7 in a really interesting way,
And they
quote
did.
unquote. Yeah, but like when it comes to something like let's say 10, because they did a remake or a remaster of 10. I think it's a remaster more than 10 plays very differently from the other ones, like
Yes.
on itself, and
It's,
so
it's
does
still a turn based, but it's based off a
Yeah.
timer versus a take your turn and go.
13. 13 plays very different from the other ones, and
They use
that's-
the paradigm system. It's
and
still
actually, I think the last 13 game is just straight up more of an action game anyway.
Light of Returns is it's actually a roguelite because it's the reset mechanic from Majora's
Majora's
Mask.
Mask, yeah, but that's still different, right? Like even in its own thing, like each game has their own like their own part of themselves that makes them unique. I think that the fact that this leans more towards action isn't a bad thing. I think it's what makes 16 more unique. Unfortunately, we really can't get another sequel with this game with the way it ends. But like,
Yeah.
but like
got the
it's
DLC,
cool.
so-
I mean, like the DLC.
Oh no, you still have DLC, but that's DLC.
But like, we will never get another 16.
no.
I mean, the next entry could be like a 16 style again, focus on action. For it, I would be really laughing my ass off if Final Fantasy 17 or whatever they're going to call it.
But
is a
17
third-person
probably won't
shooter.
be like that. If you say this, you know what's crazy? I'd be down for that. I'd actually think it'd be a really cool idea. It'd be really dumb, but I think it'd be really cool.
And if once again, like they pull, like all the RPG mechanics is completely removed, like okay, it's definitely not RPG anymore. Final Fantasy has really gone and beyond.
Like if it just
Out of
turned into Infamous, that'd be crazy.
Watch it become Forspoken.
That's unfortunate for it because I don't want it to be mid. But yeah, I would say that like it still holds its own enough that it could go up. Like quality wise, it's still a good game altogether.
Oh yeah, no, that's
It's a great
absolutely
game.
fine. I just don't think it deserves Game of the Year, or maybe to the next round. But that's my argument for it.
What is everyone else thinking based on our cases being fought?
It's mid as hell from what y'all saying. So I mean,
I don't
it's like high mid. So I mean,
I mid.
yeah, it's the type of mid that get you high, and but you know what? Hey,
Oh, the
it's still
action in this
mid.
game goes crazy though. I don't even.
Oh
Oh,
no, it
sorry.
does go crazy. It's fun. It's okay, Jones. I really compare this game to like more of Asura's Wrath, just not as
Action
intense.
it is.
Not as intense because there are some dull moments in 16.
I mean,
it's not that. It's
I mean,
like,
that- I
it's
mean,
There's
dull in
literally
this
a
part.
there's literally a quest line of money that you have to pick up items for a birthday party. That's a main quest.
I don't remember that being in the main quest. I'm gonna be honest with you.
I don't remember
No,
being
it
in the main
was.
quest
It
either.
was.
I don't remember that being a
There's a
mainline
similar
thing.
quest in that in Tales of Arise. I feel like there was a quest for like that in Tales of
Yeah.
Arise.
No, like, there was a lull moment where like it was a break between like the big set pieces.
But
and your
admittedly-
quest
Admittedly, in a game that does go that bombastic, I would say you probably do need a lull. Like, you
yeah,
kinda
so
need
not
three
even
missions
that.
straight. Like, oh my god, just move
Well,
it on.
here's the thing for me, at least. Even though it is probably, I actually do remember that little quest line now. It was part of the main story.
Okay.
Well, a little bit, not too much. It was actually a little bit of a side
That was
story.
3
too.
missions straight. Like I was like, oh god, seriously, I have to go from here to here to here. Like, come on.
But even if I think it's kind of a necessary need because it's fleshing out your characters. It's not like it's
character moment.
yeah, it's a character moment. It's not like it's throwing it in there so you have feelings for these characters, even though I'd say she does play a big role in it because of everything that she's done, especially with upon the later in the story and everything. So I think it's a good thing to have, especially since you shouldn't have always the big bombastic moments.
No, I'm
or
not saying
whatever.
that, but having a literally 3 mission quest line of just
Wait, before we
walking
go on-
back and forth from one end of the base to the other end of the base and back again as a fetch quest is a really bad mission design.
Because
It's not-
Jones says it's mid. I don't know how Jones got mid out of that entire argument, but fair.
Probably from me.
But
I mean,
Aaron, what
yeah,
is
I
your
mean,
vote? Aaron, what is your vote based on the arguments presented?
I would kind of agree with. I'm not fully with Pele, but I understand. I think I would leave it here.
Okay, that's fair. We've been outvoted.
Personally,
It stays here.
Tragedy.
Truly.
It's such a great game. The music is fantastic, and the moments are amazing too, and the story is great.
And the gameplay is sick,
Mhm.
but it
Mm.
stays here, I guess.
I'm not
Alright.
saying it's a bad game, but I would say I think.
Oh
it
yeah,
would
no,
too.
this isn't a bad category, but like we. Just
Oh, I know that.
I think
I
it
know-
would be at the
I
very
just
tip
feel like-
of this. I feel like it
I
would be at
feel
the
like-
very tip of this category.
We'll put it there.
I feel like 16 could have either gone to round 2 or at least be a nomination, if anything, in my opinion. For what
if
it
that's
is.
the case,
I would
then
agree.
Blasphemous 2 goes up to round 2 as well.
I'm gonna be completely honest with you. There's no way that
I
this
don't.
leaves here and this didn't.
Hey,
I can tell you right now, you can shut the fuck up, dog.
No.
And I
As a-
like
as a
Blasphemous
Metroidvania-
too.
As
but
a
you can
Metroid,
shut up.
as a fan of the Metroidvania genre, hey, Blasphemous 2 deserves to be up there.
You can
Okay,
shut the fuck up.
Blasphemous 2 at least deserves to be in round 2.
No, you can. Your game can stay right here.
Oh no, sir. First of all, hold on. Just a little pretext. Just a little context, a little pretext for me, okay? So, what Metroidvanias have you beaten, sir?
Bloodstained, Metroid, the original Castlevania, and Symphony of the Night. I've always played Symphony of the Night. Can't forget that one. That one's always a fun one. Oh, I'm
played
pretty
any
sure I
other-
played Hollow Knight, but I didn't beat Hollow Knight. There's a couple other ones. I actually like Metroidvanias, dog.
Exactly, and this Blasphemous 2 at least deserves to go to round 2 because I mean it perfectly encapsulates the whole. Hey, this is a Dark Souls, and at the same time it's a Metroidvania. I mean, think
I
about
don't
it.
know.
Think
I'm gonna
about
be
the whole
honest.
counter-
If you're trying to convince me it's not gonna work, because I played both these games and like, I had way more fun playing this.
I mean,
I had way
obviously
more
just
fun.
because it's the name. I mean,
And it's not a bad game, like I said. But this,
Nah, Blasphemous 2 deserves to be up there at least in round 2,
Yeah, no, it's gonna stay right
and
here.
just stay at round 2.
It's gonna stay right here.
Cause watch, you gonna come back to it and you're gonna be like, damn.
Anyone else got
It
anything
really-
to
it
say
really is.
about Blasphemous 2
Well, no,
potentially
Charles,
going up or
you
down?
gotta give it a strong opinion for it because I successfully defended my point and convinced the rest of you guys on my point, at least for Final Fantasy 16. So you gotta do the same for Blasphemous 2. But I haven't played it, so I don't have a full opinion on it. But I love the first one, so I do say Blasphemous 2. I think should go, at least has a chance to go up for what it is because it is a very, very well done Metroidvania of art style, music, and mechanic wise. I think it's actually improved on the mechanics from what I've seen so far.
Like, honestly, the music in that game, especially if you play it in Spanish, just because it takes
And it
place
fits
from
in Latin,
Catholicism.
If it's in Latin.
I'm gonna be honest with you, Pele. I think Leon might stab you.
Yeah. Because literally, if you're talking about the music in Blasphemous, Final Fantasy 16's music should fucking.
Everything
Yeah,
you
then I'll-
just
then I'll
mentioned
say-
were the
No,
reasons why
Blasphemous-
we like this
Blasphemous
game.
music is
The
off the
music
chain now.
in
Blasphemous
16
music
is
really off the chain.
fantastic. If you have not seen the Titan fight, that shit goes hard just for when that happens. Like, God damn, even Bahamut's
You might
music
get
is
shanked.
fantastic.
And I'll make this fair.
It
Let's
is
say,
so
and I'll make
orchestric.
this fair then. I'll rescind my opinion for Final Fantasy 16, at least for the second round. Bring them both up, but I will not let it pass that point.
That's fair. In exchange, Blasphemous was to go up too. All right,
Yes.
fair enough.
Because honestly, Blasphemous, like, music wise,
In
art wise,
exchange.
especially for the way how you get away with all this and pixelated. Yeah.
It is impressive.
Especially now that you
it's
think
just the
about it.
fact, nah, you know what got me about it more than anything? The fact that you was like, that Pele had the gall to say, hey, look, all the like literally all the things that we argued were good about this game, like every single thing that we was like, oh yeah, this is what's really cool about this game. You said for this game, and we're like, dog, nah.
The reason why is I have more of a stronger capability of at least Final Fantasy because again, big fan of the series for a very, very long time. Blasphemous is only 2 games in.
Bro. If you're as a Final Fantasy fan, you should know that it's an anthology series. It's allowed to change.
And I get that, and but like, again, it's also an
Not
RPG
everybody
series. Yeah.
Not everybody
Like,
likes change.
not
I
every
get
Final
that.
Fantasy is good.
I,
I
just like
didn't say they were.
Yeah.
Okay. So Armor Core is right here. Excuse me. Does it
I
go
feel
up?
like it should at least. I feel like at round 2, that's where it caps off at. Honestly,
I feel like
Yeah,
Armored
Armored
Core could go up, and that's I think, honestly, in my opinion, after Armored Core, I think every other game is where it needs. Like every other
Honestly,
in
yeah.
this list is where it needs.
Unless anyone else has any opinions on.
I
the
mean,
I
rest.
could say Armored
I'll
Core could go
move
up.
up Armor Core, but I would argue Street Fighter 6 is good enough to be here. Honestly, I would argue that El Paso everywhere. I really love how this one deserves to at least be here.
I could see Street Fighter 6 going up,
I
personally.
can see
Street
Street
Fighter-
Fighter and Remnant 2 going up, and then those 2 and Dredge going up. Like those 3, and
I was
after
about
that,
to say, I'm amazed Pele ain't fighting for Dredge.
We haven't
I
gotten
tried to
Dredge
defend
yet.
one. I tried to defend before. It didn't work. Remember?
So, I was
I
like,
mean, I agree with you.
do you think Dredge goes up?
Yes,
Like,
I do.
I feel like we're having a lock making it to round 2.
Yeah, that's why I said like I like Dredge quite a bit, but I don't think it deserves like Game of the Year for material.
I
at
don't.
the moment.
That's
I mean,
fair.
I feel like it's a
Honestly-
great game, but it's like, I don't know if it goes
Go ahead. Go ahead.
that far.
Okay.
Continue.
Like,
I really
honestly-
love the style of El Paso elsewhere. I really love
Honestly, when you look at
So
the
good.
games right here that we got in round 2, after you add up Remnant 2 and Dredge, I mean, it would make sense because honestly, with the 5 of us in here, we pretty much know like 3 of them that's automatically going to try. That's automatically going to be Game of the Year noms because
it. Look,
they're just going to cap off right there in round 2. Round 2 is like B plus. Honestly, it's like a B. It's like B plus. No, you know what? No, it's like
these.
an A. It's like an A. It's like an A minus. It's like an A minus B plus type of area. Cause like they're the great games out there that you would recommend out there, while everything below that in round 1 is definitely like C plus.
But I wouldn't
Yeah.
say Remnant 2 would go up to round 2 if that's the case. Because once you said it just kind of slightly makes Remnant 2 slightly better than the original game. So
and
I
and
would point
honestly,
it like at
it'd be
least
like
one
a
or two
B. It'd
points
be like a
original
B.
over the original game, but that was just how
Mhm.
Jones said it. I would put
yeah,
it
I'm
like,
saying how he said it upon that,
yeah.
on his explanation.
Because I mean, it's just another looter shooter that happens to be good. It's not just okay.
It's not that it
Here's
hap-
another
No,
looter
it's not that
shooter.
it happens to be good. It was good, and then they improved upon it. It just appear good. What?
No, I'm just saying in general. I'm just saying in general because just about how the gameplay works and everything like that, and then how the loot drops work, how you usually just go through the missions, the roguelike. Well,
Well, it's not a looter shooter. It's Souls-like, isn't it? Because originally based off of like a Souls
But
shooter.
It's a little bit of
Remnant
both.
2, it is a Souls-like. It's not a looter shooter because the enemies do drop some loot, but it's not like Borderlands
Yeah, it's
style.
not like yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah.
but and I honestly, all your weapons are either found or directly found in a specific spot, gotten from a specific place, or gotten from
Mhm.
a boss specifically.
Or if you
Mhm.
kill the boss or fight a boss a specific way.
Yeah, so
Mhm.
it's like nah, it's not really a loot. Yeah, I'm putting this on round 2. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Okay.
Is that
Like,
cool?
you
Everybody
can-
cool with that one being
That's
in round
fine.
2?
Yeah.
I'm cool with that.
Yeah, I think
It's
that's
just
where it caps off.
its explanation didn't sound like it should have gone up.
That's where it caps off. As much as I like Exo Primal, I also it capped off here at round 1.
I
I feel-
agree.
I think
I
think
agree.
They,
I
they,
had my fun with it, but it's not something.
It
Because
is
the
a
other-
really fun game,
I'd
and
like.
to
I
me,
can go back
feel
to
like
it,
it could
and it
go
would be fun
up
to play
because
but
of how fun
Amani,
it is.
in my opinion, they fucked up by putting different variations of suits into the game before they added completely new suits.
That's
In
fair.
my opinion,
No,
they
that's
should
fair.
have added
I
a couple of
it's a
new
fair-
suits first,
yeah.
and then add because some of the variations genuinely just make the
Also-
the suit worse than the original one.
I'm gonna be
couple
completely
of them.
honest. I am super disappointed that the Street Fighter collab wasn't new exosuits and they were
Yeah.
just skins.
Just skins.
They're just
Mhm.
skins.
I was super disappointed. I really wanted like a fighter skin, and
Style,
it could have been
yeah.
like, you change it. The variations could have been Ryu, Guile, and
Yeah,
Yeah.
because they
Something.
fucking did it in freaking Monster Hunter. Why couldn't they do the fucking same for?
I was
No.
super yeah.
It was
Fun
a little-
Factor can carry a
little
game a lot
lackluster.
further. At least for me though, Fun Factor can carry a game.
Oh yeah,
a
especially
lot
with a group of
further, and I
friends.
think that this
Exoprimal's
is really fun.
yeah.
Mhm.
But
I think it stays here.
I think
Exoprimal
it's,
stays here.
everyone
It
agrees
does
that it
stay
stays
there.
here.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah.
I also think Ghost
But that
Runner stays
Rajengo.
there.
All right, Ghost Runner. That's fair.
I think Ghost Runner.
Mario
stays
Wonder
there.
stays as well.
I think it
You can say,
compared to
what
the first
fuck
one.
there, Mario Wonder.
No,
I'm cool with that.
Mario. I think I think every other game here stays where it is, in my
Yeah.
opinion. I think.
Says.
Yeah, I can see that.
As much as I like the Dredge and El Paso elsewhere, I also think that they're also I don't know, like El Paso elsewhere is also like
They're good-
it's
they're
not a
good
very long
games. I just
game.
don't think
it's also
they
not a very
deserve-
long game.
It's-
I don't think
but
they're,
it's
like,
very
deserving-
stylish.
Yeah.
You
It's
know, it's a very
stylish,
stylish
just
game, and
short
it's very
games, but I
fun.
wouldn't say like
But I
game of
wouldn't
the
put it-
year type of deal.
I think this is where they cut off. Even Deducto
Yeah.
2, in my opinion, also.
That's
Uh-huh.
fine.
Yeah.
Because Doctor 2 is only good if you have a good decent amount of friends along with
Alright.
it. And I
Yeah, you can't
I
really
won
do
my
that.
I won my battle with Pikmin 4, so I'm good.
All right.
I think Pikmin 4 also, this is where it cuts off.
Yeah, no, I won my battle, so I'm good.
Like honestly, Persona can stay there too because
Yeah, no, Persona can stay right there. To be honest. All right, so let's just go for it. Let's get our nominees.
Baldur's
Right.
Gate, Spider-Man,
Balls
Hi-Fi
Gay, Spoderman,
Spider-Man, Alan Wake.
Resident Evil 4.
Yeah, you do.
Hi-Fi Rush,
Hi-Fi
Resident
Rush is
Evil.
going up there. I feel
Hi-Fi
that.
Rush. And then from here, in my opinion,
Okay.
it's these 4. But I know you guys are going to argue a couple.
I would argue for Bomb Rush,
I would
and
argue
I
for
would
Bomb Rush. Yeah.
yeah.
I'll argue for Bomb Rush, and I'm gonna argue for Resident Evil 4. That's it. After that,
Look.
because that's exactly how I see
I
it.
could see
I-
Bomb Rush up there.
I
see
told
Bomb
you.
Rush, yeah.
I told you this before. These two ain't making it past here.
Bruh, Resident Evil 4 is going up. Okay, first of all, you giving thanks, and you're not gonna be an ungrateful child to the Godfather right now.
No, shut your
And then
ass
the
up.
fact that
It's
you-
a
and then the
remake.
fact
This
that
game
you-
existed
and then
before.
the
They
fact that
just
you
made
brought
it better.
Exactly. You
Which
first
is
of all,
why
you,
no.
hold on.
Which is
It
to
started off
me.
a whole trend and craze of games that we
Yeah,
have
but this
right
this
now.
this ain't
And
about the
then the fact
original.
that
No,
it
no, no,
had
no,
the
no.
nerve
This
to
ain't
improve
about
on
the
that shit.
original Resident Evil 4 and when it came out. It could sit
This is
right
about
here because its
Resident
homework
Evil
was
4.
done. It was already a good game. They just
I
had to not
don't
fuck it
think-
up.
As much as I like Dead Space and Resident Evil 4, I don't think they go any further than.
I think this is
Um,
exactly where they belong.
yeah.
Or it deserves to go up, especially how much they changed it and how much they learned from just the original remakes.
Oh no,
And
no,
then
like
moving on-
100%. Like it is like a whole 100% better. It is literally 100% better game than the original one. Same with Dead Space.
But your homework
But-
was already done.
At the same time, if anything, Dead Space at least changed it up enough that the story is arguably significantly
It
different.
was
Like,
better. For example,
it's a
Isaac
whole-
can fucking
it's a-
talk.
it's a whole different. Like you actually hear your character. Resident Evil 4, as good as it is just the original game. They just reanimate, but they
Everything's
kept
just
almost
better.
everything else about the same. It just looks better.
I'm about to say
And plays
it's
better.
not exact one for one. It really isn't.
It doesn't
It's like
have to
it's
be an
all
exact
shit.
one for one. It can be better, but it is the same thing. It's no different from like best thing. We're gonna have to discuss this later also, because we got to do shows. But the Last of Us show, for instance, right? The Last of Us show is a really good show. In fact, it improves on like what the original like game did in some instances as far as story goes. But at least for me, I don't give it that much credit because it was already good. They just kind of made it. They
Just
just
do a different
improved.
medium.
Went
Yeah,
more
they
in
did
depth.
it.
into
All
it.
they had to do was just not fuck it up.
Like,
Which is actually surprisingly hard nowadays.
It's surprisingly hard, but at the same time, should be easier than done.
and then how fluid and well the game moves.
Yeah,
Especially with
exactly.
very-
It's why it's
Like-
right here.
Like, I'll give it. I'll 100% give it. But it's also like they've
It
been
deserves
continuing.
at least noms. It deserves. I'm not saying it deserves Game of the Year, but it at least deserves noms.
Nah.
That's it. I'm not gonna argue past that because Game of the Year, y'all can have that shit. The rest, cause like honestly, like what Baldur's Gate, that's just gonna be the top on everybody's fucking list. Let's not even be honest here. Like, let's be fucking honest here. It's a waste of time.
I'm
to
gonna be
even
honest. I'd fight to keep this right here in the noms. I'm gonna be honest with you.
I mean,
I have an argument already.
Yeah.
As much as it's like obviously going to be like the main one, I personally do believe that it is the game.
There's a
And
lot of things that
And
Baldur's Gate did
despite
this
what a lot
year.
of people think, this is not my game of the year.
like Baldur's
I think
Gate
for
and
you it'd be
Alan
Hi-Fi
Wake
Rush,
too,
honestly.
Yeah,
Like,
I think that
for
too.
you, Hi-Fi
Game of the
Rush
year.
would be your game of the year. And I
So
think
I
it's
would- I would
it's got a
genuinely
really good argument.
I would also argue that Slay the Princess goes like here.
Like at the same time with Slay the Princess, I would argue that it potentially, but I don't know. Like
I think it came out of nowhere, much like this one, and did something really cool that no one expected.
it did something very unique.
Yeah,
It did something incredibly unique.
and
That
so
is very true.
for that, I want
But
to.
it is also a very simplistic game. But
It
it
is
is
a
also a very
simplistic game.
simple.
I believe it's
game.
also
not
done
bad,
by
not,
one
which is
dude.
not a bad thing. Yeah, it's not a bad thing. I'm 100% not saying it's a bad thing.
Yeah,
But it is a very simple game. I don't know
but
if I
its
would give it
writing
Game of the
carries
Year.
it too, and it
Its
has
writing is really good.
arguably better writing than like everything except for like these two, possibly.
Thing is, like,
It has arguably better writing than like
okay,
everything but
we
these
still
two.
have to settle Resident Evil 4. Okay.
Oh no, Resident Evil 4 is staying here as far as I'm concerned.
No, it's
I-
not, man. Resident Evil is at least going to noms, man. Noms is at least what it deserves.
Jones is the man.
Like,
who's
okay,
saying
what?
it.
Why do you think it go in the noms?
Because it's basically setting another standard when it comes to these action third person games. Because you wish you can have this type of fluidity movement when you was playing an open world game like Forspoken. The only
Matrix
thing
exists.
Forspoken missing was basically like better enemy designs and actually like something worth fighting. And then the fact that-
I don't know.
And then the fact that Resident Evil 4, like, this is something, it's almost got a new identity in the way of gameplay, not just because of I
I
mean,
don't
compared to
the
the
way
remake,
that
it's just like how it was just it's a survival shooter.
I'm gonna be honest
It,
with
I
you,
mean,
dog. These two
but
games
I'm
coming out in the same
survival
year
game.
is kind of like fighting you on that point because I would argue that these two are almost the same. Like, legitimately, like this is the
It's not
direct
Dead,
spiritual
but
successor
Dead
of
Space,
this.
Dead
It
Space
is.
feels more like an out of spite thing though, because like they seen how Callisto Protocol was coming out, or they probably heard about it, and then Dead Space was just like, you know what, we're officially going to do this shit because at
Because
first,
Dead Space competitor at the time was Callisto Protocol, not Resident
Yeah.
Evil 4.
But like, I'm gonna be honest, like these two are about the same. Resident Evil 4 plays really well. I'm not gonna say
it
it
does,
doesn't,
and
but
bro,
like
like.
they both play really well,
I
and I think they
And
both
then
deserve
how,
to be
and then
here.
how much they improved on the knife and the
You know what? Here's the thing I would feel about this. If Resident Evil 4 or Dead Space was originally a shitty game that people were like, if only it played good, these would be great, I would absolutely give this to you and be like, yeah, nah, they deserve to be here. But like, both these games came out to high reviews when they came out. They were
yeah,
good.
because
They were
like,
already good. So like, just improving on a good thing isn't really, at least to me,
I
it's
mean,
like that's not that
yeah,
impressive.
that deserves
It's still
that
good.
deserves a nomination because it's not like again, but you like you guys saying it never fucked up. You had the blueprint right here, but guess what?
no,
They improved upon it too, and they also
Are you about
almost
to say
make
it?
it like, hey, this is what the game, this is how your game should be right now, except that it's not. Like what other third person like action game period right now plays just like this,
I mean,
Vanquish.
God of
or at least
War.
runs like
God of
this.
War
God of
also
War
plays very
one
similar to these,
one of
technically
these.
speaking. They're very
No,
That's a
similar.
Melee.
God of War is more like Destiny and a whole bunch of other RPG games. That's
No,
different.
Oh,
No.
no,
Yeah, like
no.
okay, ever since
no.
I
okay,
mean,
so
they
ever
have
No,
since
RPG mechanics, yes, but like, no.
exactly, and that's how you have to play the new God of War now because the
I
fact
also
that you just
don't
can't
like the
play it how
RPG
it was.
mechanics in God of War because it's like armor-based crap. But that's a
Yeah,
whole
but
nother
in,
thing.
in the new
Exactly.
one, they completely it almost doesn't. You can beat the game with like not the best. Like you get different armor sets, and they're all interchangeable. You can
And then
almost
let's
change
not
them
forget about
depending to
your
the
magic
situation.
too. Your
Yeah,
magic
you
and
have
your
a
charms that you
you have
enhancement too, like bro,
you
that
have
that basically is
abilities,
like
but like
Destiny.
that's like you throwing a grenade in Resident like
True.
another
Or a
gun or
flashbang,
something, like
yeah.
you know, or stuff like that. Like it's a third person game that has the movement. In my opinion, Resident Evil 4 still looks like a Resident Evil game. Like I don't,
Oh, yeah.
it does look a lot better. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think it looks so much fucking more amazing than like the last Resident Evil game came out.
I
It
don't think
just
it's
looks
doing
a
anything
little
any
better.
crazier than
I don't
Dead
think it's
Space either.
that crazy. It is good. Like they definitely took something that was amazing. They took a great game and they updated the graphics, made the mechanics more modern, changed the story a little bit so that it made fucking sense. Because honestly, the stories in the Resident Evils were a little weird at first. You know,
Yeah.
they improved upon some things, but they already had like an actual, not even like a frame. They had a literal like a house, and they just were like, oh, let's like add like a couple of rooms and
Let's
maybe
renovate the
like
house a little
like
bit.
renovate a
Got a
little bit.
balcony here
Like
and
this
there.
this
Yeah.
house
Yeah.
is really good. This is a really nice house, but it looks like it was made in '94. Let's upgrade it and make it look like it was made in 2000. Like that's what they did. They upgraded something that was already pre-existing. Same thing with Dead Space. That's why I don't think Dead Space and Resident Evil should both go up. They both did amazing jobs at what they did. Amazing jobs at what they did. But they already had a pre-existing like not even framework, like a whole layout of what they needed to do.
What the right
So
thing
they
to do.
didn't need to worry about
mechanics.
they didn't need to worry about writing the story. They didn't need to worry about like a lot of things. They just already had that shit figured out.
Like genuinely, had Resident Evil or Dead Space came out and played the exact same, but just looked better, they'd still probably get about as high as this.
No, to me that would keep them like that. Like Dead Space,
Actually, they probably
honestly
get
can
like
stay
right
in
here.
round two.
No, they probably get
Right,
one.
to be
Like
one,
Dead Space itself can at least stay in round two because again, the way how you guys made that argument right there, that's exactly what Dead Space is. But Resident Evil 4
I
at
wouldn't
least
say that.
deserves
Dead Space
nom
is
because it had at least improved upon it. Like again, it's just like with
I mean, no, but
RE2.
same thing with
It's
Dead
like
Space. Dead Space improved significantly upon the original. Like both Resident Evil and Dead Space are in the exact same boat. Like they both it improved upon something that was already good. Like Dead Space it's very similar, but they changed a lot of mechanics for the game. It's because now it's essentially almost open world. Like you have one big map that you have to traverse around instead of it just being mission after mission after mission. You know.
I mean,
Like,
same thing with
and-
Resident Evil 4.
I mean, yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. They're in the exact same boat,
boat,
which is why
yeah.
they should stay
They
here
need
because
to
it's
stay here.
like if they go above, in my opinion, it's like they didn't it's not like a whole new game. It's not a whole new game. It is still a remake. You know, they did a great job with it, but they already had a significant portion of the game
Game
worked
already
out.
done. Yeah.
Like
Now-
it wasn't completely new.
So final says on everyone else because we know where some people stand. These two stay here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
My
agree on that one.
my vote is
Yeah.
that they both stay there. I think
Okay.
my vote.
Do we move Slay the Princess up?
I wouldn't, man. Honestly,
Mhm.
I think
it's really good.
I think narratively it's an amazing game, but it's also like once you figure it out and you know everything, like playing it multiple times isn't like you get like
They do
yeah,
have
you
different
just-
endings though.
You
officially.
get like 3 different endings, I think, or is it like 4?
I think
I'm
there's
trying to
more
remember.
than that, but I'm not.
there's
entirely
multiple
sure.
different
But there are
endings.
multiple endings, so you can
I think
replay
there's
it.
6.
6? That's actually a lot
Yeah.
of
There's
endings.
6. Okay,
That's
that's
a lot of
actually pretty
endings.
significant amount.
There's a lot of choices.
Well, there's a lot of choices.
Like I actually understand your argument for it though, because it really
kinda
I
like
haven't
to not
seen a
be
game really do any.
Yeah,
Ugh.
I'm gonna say it deserves to at least be nominated. I'm gonna be honest. One dude, 6 different endings. It actually does have replayability, which is kind of wild to think about. It's
But
all
it's-
got this
it's-
roguelike kind of feeling to it too, and it's doing really unique ideas mechanically, even though it's a visual novel.
Yeah, but again, this is also this is
And it's
You know,
all
literally,
voice
like-
acted.
like it's
A visual novel is a visual novel. I mean, I'm sorry, it won't go further than this. Like
I think that's the thing. It is essentially a novel, which is why I don't know if I would like as much as it's very pretty and very stylized, and the writing is just phenomenal. It also is just kind of stationary images for the most part, or like slightly moving.
But it's gripping.
It is, but like I don't think it
Gripping
boils
writing,
down to-
gripping voice performances. It's pretty impressive.
Like I said, it's being carried by the fact that it obviously has a bunch of choices. It's art. It's actually being carried technically by a lot of things that like most games have.
It's-
The only
it's
thing
art.
the only thing it technically doesn't have that the rest of these really have is like gameplay, quote unquote. And there's an argument that the choices being made are the gameplay.
because if that's the case, then Until Dawn would have been a game of the year for a lot of people, even though
It was.
It was game of the year for a lot of people. Like it was a good game. I mean, I don't think Until Dawn was a bad game by any means.
well,
Like I have no
Okay,
problem with
okay.
cinematic
Okay,
experiences.
so what?
It's just
that's not a good example for me then. How about it's the fact that we already have this standard right now where we're not living in the original PC games where our visual novels or the point and click adventure games is what we have. Like we have Last of Us right now.
okay.
We have
But I think that's
Um,
why this stands out. Because this is something being done by like a
not
single
really,
dude or a
because I
couple
mean this
people.
is comparatively, this is just like Five Nights at Freddy's as well. This is a game that just started off as just like, oh, it's a itch.io project, and then they actually just improved upon it, and it's just a nice little indie game. It's something that you would mention to somebody that like it's a thing that happened, but it wouldn't be
Mechanically, yeah. I was
like
just saying,
like
mechanically,
game
it's a
of the
very
year.
simple game. I would more compare it to Doki Doki Literature Club. The writing is immensely great.
And I would
um,
have. I'm gonna be honest with you. I would have argued for Doki Doki Literature Club to be nominated as Game of the Year.
That's different though. That's
Because
because
the game kind of went
that's
hard.
different though. That's different because like okay, again, you're talking
Honestly,
to
it's
someone
not
who
that
loves
different.
visual novels here. That's different. This is like literally Slay the Princess is literally like what's it called right now, but it's not. It can't be that high. It's just like Corpse Party. It's just like fucking
I wouldn't even say that. I
What's
think
it
it is.
called?
I think it has more in common with what Doki Doki Literature Club did than
I
it
can
does
see that, yeah.
on its own. Than it does
Yeah,
like anything
yeah.
else. I genuinely feel like it's doing cool enough stuff.
Ugh.
There's even a
God,
scene
I'm looking.
Sassuolo's-
I'm looking at more.
Yeah,
I'm kind of leaning more agreeing because like it does so much, honestly. But I just I feel like people aren't going to agree with it.
People don't have to.
Here's
It's
the thing.
obvious.
I'll actually make this comparison, and this might actually throw things a little bit off for it. But in terms of the meta narrative that presents in Slay the Princess, is very similar to that of Alan Wake 2.
Like it's the
Question, Pele.
Yeah.
Genuine question. Because you've seen both. Which one do you think does it better? Because you're one of the few people that have seen both. Because I haven't seen Alan Wake, but I actually think a lot of the meta stuff that's happening in here is amazing. So like,
Yeah. Oof. Better. That's rough to
yeah,
really
no, I
compare.
believe it's a rough question. It's weird because I can't say which do you prefer, because I know Alan Wake specifically scratches an itch for you.
I mean, they're both horror, so it scratches both
And
my.
they do it.
Yeah. Alan Wake makes my skin crawl in terms of like creepy shadows and everything. Slay the Princess makes my skin crawl for like certain choices you make. Like, holy shit, that
Oh
just
yeah, it's
fucking
very
happened.
horrifying. It's
Yeah. I can't quite compare the two. They're both really fucking good in terms of meta narrative. The way I would see this, and this is going to be a really bad explanation for it, mainly for Aaron here, I kind of would say Slay the Princess does it a little better. Almost kind of Ryan Johnson style, because it kind of breaks your expectations.
okay.
Which I get, again, bad example because I know Aaron hates Ryan Johnson.
But he can still have like, because I remember, I mean, you can still have like, you know, a broken clock is
But-
right twice a day or whatever like that. Like you can
Yeah.
use that technically speaking.
And Alan Wake does the same thing as with it, because like you play Control, you know how fucking weird that game is.
Control is really weird.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and Alan Wake pulls that similar direction too, especially since there's two parallel stories you're playing with both two different protagonists, Saga Anderson and Alan Wake himself.
Mhm.
Just things break in the middle of the game, not break legitimately, but like they break your conception. Like this is supposed to have to go there. I just came from here. What the fuck? They even pull a PT in Alan Wake too. Like I was breaking my mind on how this is supposed to work.
They actually pulled something similar in this game too.
I know they do.
So it's
In
like,
Slay the Spire, they do.
mm.
But Slay the Spire is based off of choices. Alan Wake, you're in control
Yeah, you
directly.
are in
with the
control.
experience. Yeah. It's
Mm.
again, it's a hard comparison because they do both really, really well. It's just I think it's a little bit stronger in Slay the Princess because it's almost all done by word.
True. I'm gonna say it's doing final vote. We'll set up this in final vote. Does it go up or not?
Like Stage Percent, it's like a nice little it's a nice little game that you can recommend in the past. It's not Game of the Year like nomination
Well, that's
worthy.
you. All right, Pele. What about you?
Uh, I would agree with Jones. I
Okay.
like it, but not enough for it to be Game of the Year. Because as like Slay the Spire, there's a lot going for it. It's still a bit too simple. It doesn't really scratch the full itch, I would say, because Alan Wake 2 really scratches the full itch on that experience because of the whole package. Slay the Spire Slay the Princess is a neat package involved with it and does something really neat. It's really fucking neat, but I don't think like it's fully satisfies me. If you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, like I get it. I get it for you. Aaron.
I'm honestly with you, Amani.
Okay.
I feel like it's gonna be left up to Leon.
Leon's the tiebreaker. Leon, how you feel about it?
To me, if a game, even though it's so simplistic, like a light novel and everything, can grasp you so easily or quickly, really should be like nominated for that. It should be.
I'm remembering all the different endings
Hmm.
and like as I'm going through it and like all the layers of the game.
Mhm.
The writing itself, I think, alone.
Like, I agree with you guys. I think it should probably be nominated because of the fact that it can grasp you that
Like
hard.
Let's
as-
go.
in my opinion, I think that's the only thing should go to Game of the Year.
That's fair. That's fair. It deserves at least a nomination. Eat a dick, Jones.
Don't rub it in.
No,
Man,
no, no,
nah,
no, no,
nah.
That's
Because if that's the case, then
mean.
Resident Evil 4 got to
We
go
gotta
up.
go down.
No,
We
no,
gotta go
no,
down
no,
now.
no,
No.
I
We gotta
no.
go down
Resident Evil
here.
4 got to go up now. No, bring
Now it's
it
time
down.
for the fight of the worst.
Then we're just gonna end this right now. We're gonna end this. That Trash of the Year is just gonna go to Golem, and that fucking Starfield is gonna be a fucking nom. But actually, Starfield should have its own fucking nomination for being like, hey Bethesda, we don't
Fuck
want
you.
this.
We want this trash no more.
Exactly.
Golem's Day Before, I think,
Okay.
should be the noms easily.
Easily.
These two easily.
Yeah.
All right, everyone agrees
Easy.
with that. Okay.
Redfall's bad at the same time, but the
Okay.
fact that they only had 2 years to
One's
It's
broken
like
and one's fundamentally
they-
bad. So like that's why
they
I'm a little
didn't have a
confused.
lot of time to make this. They had very little period.
Starfield had
is
years,
just
and it's
8 freaking years to make a game that was worth someone's
it's again
time.
fundamentally bad. Like if the core structure of the game is just not appealing, I think that's worse than a broken game.
I just think for a full price game, especially because it did have bugs, like any Star, it does have like a fuck ton of
No,
bugs.
but here's the thing: it's not, none of them are game breaking. Starfield bug wise wasn't that bad, but like again, fundamentally, it's just a boring
It's just
title.
boring.
Yeah,
I honestly feel like I would feel like Starfield should be trash of the
I guess what's
In my
worse?
opinion.
What's worse, boring or broken?
because as
Broken.
much as the day before
I
was
think
a
broken is
scam,
worse to me at least.
I just feel like it's just so much more of a letdown when it's something that like it had.
It is
potential.
more of a letdown because I
Boring-
was kind of waiting for
The
Star.
best way I could describe this is boring feels worse because it's forgettable. It feels like the worst thing as a creator, right?
Mhm.
But broken means that you just can't enjoy it. Like, even if you wanted to enjoy it, the game won't let you.
It's buyable trash. It's literally I'm buying paperweight right
Yeah,
now.
like it's
I
just
mean,
pointless.
if we want to go that direction,
You
I
could
would
find
just-
find enjoyment in a boring game if you like wanted it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But like you cannot do that in a broken game because it's like I can't play it. Like they won't let me.
I think Starfield should go down to the nominations at least. At least.
Starfield
for
needs
nominations.
its own fucking ranking.
It's either
Yeah,
gotta be-
I'll say this: if it can't be considered trash game of the year or even nomination, it definitely deserves most disappointing game of the year for me.
It's such a.
That's fair.
disappointing
We can give it that title right there. Most disappointing is Starfield. Because nobody
And
expected
I'm-
Gollum to be good.
game. I'll be honest with you. That's the thing. Like
Yeah.
this was a game no one expected to be good, and a actual game that was an actual scam that people have been calling out as a scam for well over a year and a half. Those are two games that it's like, yeah, no shit, they were gonna be bad. What the fuck were you expecting either of these to be good?
And it's
No.
the thing, and the
Versus
comparisons
a game that had millions upon millions
Millions.
of dollars invested into it for 8 fucking years and countless developers. God knows how many fucking times they had to fucking fix shit for it to come out and be so fucking mediocre that it is just actually sad that you look at it and it makes the community so fucking just sad that they stop modding it. Do you know how like that's an
that is
insane,
the
like,
craziest part.
that
But,
is
like,
Yeah.
insane. You know, like
biggest
it's
disappointment.
like I said,
in
if it
my
doesn't win
opinion.
trash of the
In my
year,
opinion, I feel like it's more of. It's like I did not have any fucking expectation for the Gollum game. I didn't have any expectation for a game that had zero fucking gameplay and had only showed pre-rendered cutscenes and was constantly being like accused of being a scam over and over online. I did have some fucking expectations for a AAA title that like had years of development put behind it.
brand new IP.
I don't
mind
know,
you,
man.
brand new
The
IP.
more that I'm thinking about it in general, I really do think that Redfall needs to go down. But also, for me, and this is just me gonna throw this out there for as far as trash nominations, at least these other games didn't rob you. This one robbed you. This
They
one
did rob
actually
you.
robbed people.
Yeah, it is a scam, and
This
it.
one
and
literally took
gonna make the
people's money and ran.
I was actually gonna make the comparison because I can't say worse for developers because both those games did kill the development studio.
Because like even Gollum got patches. This got patches, right? Like this is
Yeah,
getting better.
both
Like
of those.
and
It's
Starfield
supposedly
can
getting
get
better.
patches,
Better,
right? But
yeah.
like this is getting nothing.
No, the Day Before has no chance. of
I
improving.
100% like. I think Day Before probably is gonna take trash at least. Like it's a scam. It's a scam. Come on.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. Who here doesn't think that game? I don't think Redfall should go down. I don't think
Okay,
so.
so Redfall
As
can
much
stay
as it-
here with this one.
I feel like Starfield should go down. I feel like Starfield should go down. Me
I
personally,
share with
I
Aaron's
feel like-
disappoint. I share the Aaron's like ire for it, and that's why I say like if it can't be nomination for, at least give it the most disappointing title of the year for
You
sure.
can give it
Like,
like disappointing. You
like,
can call
it doesn't
most
even-
disappointing for sure.
I'll be honest with you. It looks like it doesn't look that good. Like it's not a game that'll make you go holy shit. Like as much as it's like, oh, it's not as bad as these other ones potentially, but it's just such a bad game, man. Like it's such a fucking bad game. It is so
Yeah.
boring.
Oh no! Hey, no, Aaron. You remember when people were touting like, "Oh, this is gonna be the next benchmark in PC gaming"? Fucking no, it doesn't require
No.
that much.
I'm not gonna lie. I was expecting to actually get annoyed with hearing about Starfield and how good it is and people writing its meat. And the idea of hearing the opposite is actually hilarious at this point.
Do you know how bad you have to be to shut up Bethesda fans, bro? Do you understand how
I was
fucking,
so
like,
excited. I was
bad-
so excited to hear all the dick writing that was gonna happen for this game.
But like
So
the day
excited.
before is an actual scam. The day before is an actual.
Yeah.
Like that's an actual.
All right. So we could put this one in trash of the year. I feel right. That's. I
Yep.
think everybody would be
Trash.
comfortable.
It's also
But,
kind of hilarious, like how as the year went on, like closer to the end, we got worse and worse and worse.
Why did we get
worse.
so many? Like we got fucking the
Yeah,
Walking Dead
Aaron,
game.
you have to remember-
We got
yeah, no,
motherfucking
Aaron, remember,
Godzilla- the
three
King Kong
of-
game.
Yeah,
We had
3
Gollum,
of the
like,
worst
back to
game
back to
contenders.
back.
That's true. Those would be here.
Yeah, those
Those,
definitely
yeah,
would be
those
here.
3 came from the same publisher, Game Mill Entertainment. That is
No. The
remarkably bad.
Godzilla.
No, it came from
the-
Game Mill. It came
the-
from Game Mill.
The I don't think the
Skull
King
Island,
Kong one.
Rise of Kong, yeah. No, it came from Game. No, it came from Game Mill. Both Walking Dead, Destinies, Skull Island, Rise of Kong, and Gollum came from the same publisher, Game Mill Entertainment. Yeah,
Oh,
all
it
of
is
them.
the publisher's Game Entertainment.
All 3 of them
Walking
came
Dead,
from the
that's-
same
that's
publisher,
crazy.
which is like that's astronomically bad.
That's pretty bad.
Yeah, that's really bad. See.
Yep. So, day before, Trash of the Year. Congratulations, 8 Point Studios, if you're still around, you fucking scammers.
No, the Gollum game wasn't that studio.
No, they're made by Daedalus, but the publisher was Game Mill.
No. Publishers were Daedalic Entertainment.
What was the other one? Kong.
Skull Island, Rise of Kong. Let's see.
And then Walking
Developed by
Dead.
Daedalic Entertainment, published by Nikon. That's right, yeah. Yeah, that's still pretty bad, though.
Walking Dead Destinies was Game
Game Mill. Oh, no, I'm getting confused.
Walking Dead Destinies is an actual mobile game that sprung to life. I don't know.
Yeah, so Game Mill also did the Avatar game that came out recently. Not Frontiers of Pandora, the Avatar Last Airbender one, and
yeah,
that one was garbage.
useless. Yeah, that one was also fucking useless. Dude, I didn't know people were still making spamware. It was called trashware back on the Wii. Remember on like the Wii how like there would be like shovelware. There we go. That's what, actual modern day shovel. Who knew?
It's kinda
Money is made somewhere, I guess. I don't know.
Money.
It's gotta be apparently. Okay, where is it?
Money.
Looking for where you at? I'm just doing the money thing.
Money. Money
Okay,
thing. You ever like cat
Rise of
ears when
Kong.
they're cold?
right there.
Yeah.
Yep, Skull
Peak
Island,
game
Rise of
best game of
Kong.
the year.
And
Bro, I still can't get over that cutscene
Walking
of
Dead
like it's
Destinies.
just a JPEG of the fucking dinosaur behind it, bro.
Walking Dead
I
Destiny
can't get over that.
right
that
there.
shit was
Yeah, that was
Yep.
fucking dumb, dog.
That was so fucking awful, man.
These
Holy
games
Like,
are
I-
trash.
watching that shit was fucking hilarious because I was like, this is a game that came
As
out.
cool as this
2023.
year has been so far from great games, they've been like a litany of shit ones. Like, what the fuck happened?
Yeah, there's
Seriously.
been a little bit of poo poo caca every once in a while.
Is there another bad
Mhm.
one that we're missing?
I would
think
put
we're
Avatar.
good.
I mean, Avatar Last Airbender game was pretty bad, but wouldn't say
I
that
didn't
was.
hear that it was bad. I probably would have put it in the mid category. I
It was.
guess.
It was
No, it was
very.
bad. It was
well, at
fucking
least
crazy.
round 2. It's not that good. It was not good at all. Oh
Not
yeah,
the, not
Alright,
the, not,
Call
not
of
the blue
Duty.
people.
Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3.
Ah, damn.
Oh, Modern Warfare 3
Okay,
is.
Warfare 3 at the least deserves to be at like
Nah.
round 1, round 2 bad.
No, it deserves a fucking nomination, but I could see it round 2.
Oh yeah, no,
Round-
that's
I can
fair.
definitely
That
see
that,
ra-
that gets to be that definitely gets to be in this nomination part. Like,
Yeah.
Like
Because-
that's crazy to me. what they
Trash of
did
the
there.
year. Because if that's the case, trash of the year is Call of Duty's always going to stay there because I mean it's the
I don't
same
think
shit.
it always deserves to be there, but like
I
it's
think that
definitely
the
got
problem
to
is
be
this one was just atrociously bad.
It was atrociously
It
bad
was-
for the campaign. $70, 256 gigabytes for a preloaded game for a 3 or 4 hour campaign. Holy
Like,
shit!
wow, it was.
You were talking about being scammed. Activision scamming you over with that shit, man.
All right, so where is this one being put? Right here? Here?
I would say Nom.
Nom.
Straight up. All
Nom.
right.
Yeah, nom. Because okay, so as much as we complain about 8-year development for Starfield, this is Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3, a multi-billion-dollar studio who had a lot of effort and 2,000 developers working on this fucking game.
Yeah, they had way too many for this to be this trash. There was another one I need to put in here because we mentioned that it got an official release. We said Modern Warfare 3. What else did we say?
Let's see. Official release this year. I did say Avatar. Avatar is pretty bad. Not
Alright,
the
get
not the
Avatar.
Ubisoft one, but the here. Let me find the title for sure. Last November
It
game.
was Ready or Not. Ready or Not deserves to
Hey,
be
hey, ready or not, I would put in round 1,
Yeah.
round one.
if not round 2, honestly, because of the improvements it
It
got.
is really cool. I ain't gonna
But I
front.
would say round 1 is fine.
we can put it in like a high round one, I guess. I think that's fair.
Oh, Forspoken needs to be on the list.
Right.
Mid-spoken.
Technically, Forspoken was not nominated to be on the
Mid-spoken.
thing, but I guess
It would be
since we're
mid.
playing
It would be a game
it
that
would
came
really
out.
be a game.
It's a game. It has a lot of cool things going for it. But... Okay.
As much as I would argue for it to at least go to round one, it deserves to be there.
Oh, actually, Monty, I want to ask you, what about your opinions of Wanted Dead?
That's a game. That's a game that came out. That's a game that came out this year, and it's a game.
It's a
I don't think it's bad. I just don't think it's good either. There we go. Forspoken goes right here. Actually, it deserves to be right there.
definitely game of the year.
Perfectly balanced.
A game of the year.
That's the one right there. That's it. This is the game of the year. The game.
It is the most game.
game yeah, of the year. Perfect balanced. As I said. What was the other one we mentioned? Avatar.
Avatar. Okay, I had it a second ago.
There was another one.
It's called Avatar: The Last Airbender: Quest for Balance.
Oh no, I'm not doing that one. That one's a mobile title. We're not. No. You're bugging.
Wait, Monster Hunter Rise came out this year or it came out?
No. It came out years ago. It came out a few
Yeah.
years ago. And that was released on the Switch, so that's Monster Hunter Rise does not count on this list, unfortunately.
No, definitely not.
Okay, because I'm going through the list again. The
Okay,
games
I don't
that
know where
came
this one feels. It feels like it's also a game that came out.
Avatar. I mean, it's just Far Cry with Avatar.
It's a game that came out this year.
Yeah.
I didn't get a chance to play it. I don't really know if it goes up. I don't really know if it goes down. It just came out. Look, actually, I take it back. Forspoken is not the game of the year. This is the game of the year. I realized
Avatar?
that, like, yeah, this came out. I heard no hype
Yeah,
for it.
it-
I
it
heard no
was
hype
just-
for it. It came out, existed. People said it was apparently decent.
It's
and
I.
that's it.
It's alright. It's alright.
That's
it's
it.
a
Oh,
game.
Amani, there's one more game that we should announce that pisses me off me and Jones more so than anything else. Silent Hill Ascension.
Oh, that did come out, didn't it?
Yeah.
That's not. I wouldn't even consider that a game. That is more like an experience.
Experience of ripping yourself off?
Yeah, that was like experience a phenomenon. Like who the fuck?
Is it
Uh,
actually done?
It's
Yeah, it's done.
released. Yeah, you can play it and you can spend money on it. It's really fucking dumb.
Octopath Traveler 2 did come out this year too. That is
I heard it was kind of mid from what I
Look,
understood.
no one said anything about it.
Yeah,
Well, actually, I've heard people talk about it, but like, not
the
much.
Silent Hill Ascension royally pissed me off. I can definitely say that for sure.
All right, so we'll put that one in as well. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Let me move this. I don't know if people can see that or not. Silent Hill Ascension. There we go. So where is this going? Silent Hill fans, where is
Okay,
this?
so let me give you the explanation of how it operates. It is a kind of choose your own adventure type title, but you do it by cast choice by essentially a Twitch chat. You pay money for points to spend to convert the choices in the game. There's even a battle pass, quote unquote, that you spend experience on trying to get stickers and emotes and whatever the shit in it. That is the game Silent Hill Ascension.
Cool, right there.
Sweet Jesus.
That's exactly what that sounds like.
um,
That seems like a nom.
Definitely a nom. Oh boy.
All right. Anything else we gotta grab?
Trying to think off the top of my head. Nothing really comes to mind because
I think,
I think
we're
we got the
okay.
majority of
I'm
the
surprised none of
shitty
y'all-
ones anyway.
well, no, never mind. That just came out again. Tears of the Kingdom is a thing.
Oh yeah, that's right. Tears of the Kingdom wasn't nominated like even like for but this at least on our list for it. I would say Tears of the Kingdom deserves at least round 2, maybe.
Round 2, I give it round 2
I'll give it round 1.
because, I mean, it's because I give you the same argument like I gave Remnant 2.
It's
Because
fair.
it has
You know what?
everybody already
If we
and everybody
gave it
said
to
it too.
Remnant, we'll give it to Tears of the Kingdom. That's how
Because
I
Tears
feel
of the
about it.
Kingdom is like the same way people even said it, that it just feels like
A better
Breath
version
of
of
the
Breath of the
Wild but with
Wild.
DLC.
Even though Breath of the Wild also got DLC.
I do really like the Tears of the Kingdom. I like the elevation element that they added to it, and I actually like the design
The
they went with
depths
for
and everything was really
for
cool.
Link. So I think it's cool, right? Also, I mean, like I forgot about the thirst for Ganon. That Ganon thirst was crazy. Yeah, nah, he might need to be on that second tier. Nah, I forgot about that. Ganon was kind of clean, right
He
here.
was jacked, bro.
It was jacked and ripped, and voiced by Matt Mercer.
All right. What else we missing? I'm gonna be honest. At the actual Game Awards, this got way too much play. Personally, this got
Tears of the Kingdom?
this game got way too much play. I think it deserves to be right here where it belongs, and this feels fair. But like,
That's why I said round 2. I
Here?
think like it deserves a.
here's wild. to
I mean, they also
me,
nominate
at least.
Mario Wonder, so like you know.
That's. Hey, look at where Mario went. Where is it? Right down. Right
round
down
1,
somewhere.
round 1,
Right
round
there.
1.
Somewhere. Right there.
Yeah.
That's where it belongs. Because I'd argue that this is technically doing more than this, but that's a whole nother thing.
Honestly, like I still haven't finished Tears of the Kingdom, but even then, it doesn't even feel like a Game of the Year nomination. It's like we got another Zelda game.
To be
Huzzah.
honest, Thirsty Suitors also came out this year, and I've been really enjoying it. But I also don't know where I put it because I haven't finished it. But so far, it'd probably be like a round 2 for me. I would say like a round 2 or a round 1.
Didn't Eternights come out this year?
Eternights did come out this year.
It did. We reviewed that. That's a damn.
It's a round 1, round 2.
That's a round 1. That's like a high round 1.
Yeah.
I would put it at a high. You know what? Let me go ahead and grab Eternights. There's nothing against Eternights. It was a great game. Really enjoyed it. We had a lot of fun with it. Me and Leo specifically had a lot of fun. It deserves to be right here though, because like I can't in good conscience put it above these.
Can I suggest a round 2 for Diablo 4?
No. Wait.
No,
That one?
For yeah. That one. Yeah, why would I do it for best? Best? Yeah,
That's why I was really confused. I
no,
was like,
fuck that. No, fuck
no.
that. Yeah, no, no. Bottom. Oh, Wild Hearts came out this year. Forgot about that.
Mm.
Ian and I played that quite a bit too.
Wild Hearts was fun. It is also
Mhm.
dead, so it doesn't even count anymore.
No.
And this- I was gonna say it could be on the list, but it died.
Yeah.
This, what would we even like? Why would we even tell people to go play it? It's dead.
Yeah, EA has killed the support for the games. Like,
I
there's no
would have,
point in
I would have honestly been like, yeah, no, this could be like listed, but like for what? Okay, so Eternites getting posted on here real
Excuse me.
quick. If I can find my E's. There it is.
Eternites.
Oh, you know what? World of
Around
Horror did drop this year.
Mhm.
We didn't recommend this, and I don't know why we didn't. I think it's just we just didn't remember at the time. But yeah, no, this is exactly where this belongs.
I mean, there's a lot of games. It's hard to remember everything all at once.
Yeah, it's true. But yeah,
Hey,
no, this,
yo.
this is right where
Play
this
it.
belongs.
It's fantastic.
Yes! If you haven't played Eternites, go play it.
Great
Hey,
game.
yo.
Super fun.
Put
Very
World of
quirky.
Horror up there right now.
very
World of Horror
quirky.
goes to round 2.
World of Horror. World of Horror dropped this year?
Yeah, it did drop this year. It released on the especially on Switch and PC.
Like that at least deserves a round 2.
I played it, but like, I forgot that it dropped this year. And I would
Yeah,
agree that it does actually deserve to be at maybe a 2.
Would you consider No Time to Relax to be a game of the year?
As much fun as I
You
have
guys
with it,
didn't
I
even
still-
nominate it. I had
Yeah.
a small
That
little
game-
room,
that
but
game
none of
came
you
out-
nominated it.
I don't
Wait,
think
did
it
that
came out
come out
this year.
this
Hold on,
year?
no time to relax. Did it come out this year?
It did. I'm pretty sure it did come out this year.
Hold on, I'm just checking real fast. No Time to Relax came out 4 years ago.
4 years ago?
Yeah, it's from 2019. So
Okay.
it does not count this year.
Okay, never mind. I didn't know that came out fucking 4 years ago. Shit.
No, officially came out this year because it was an early access when Jones
that's
got
why,
it.
that's why.
Yeah, but it officially came out this year, so it does count.
All right, World of Horror goes on the list
At the
too.
very least, that's a round 1er.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna put it on round 1. Not like disregard this, it's just going on.
No.
round 1.
World of Horror deserves a round 2. But what's it called? But what was it? No time for
You know
that
what? Fight
goes
for it.
round 1.
Fight for it. Why does it deserve it?
Because okay, mixing Lovecraft horror, J horror, and then also putting it into like the old style point and click adventure mixed with roguelike
Roguelike.
elements. Especially for the fact that
Oh
You
yeah,
think
and
that-
each one is an episode. That is true. It is doing something very unique with it.
exactly, and every single time that you run through the game, you're not going to get the same ending for the individual stories itself. Like I completed my first run for the first time through all the stories and then dispelled the elder god. But you might go through it and you might actually fight the motherfucker. You might actually get a different ending or went about a different case, a case a different way, and you got a better ending than the first time. So there's a lot that World of Horror actually does, especially with
I do like uniqueness, and both of these two technically do uniqueness.
Mm-hmm. But Ethernet though.
Yeah, but
My genuine thing is if this goes up, this goes up. Like
Nah,
they're both
nah.
doing like unique enough things that I actually both.
I wouldn't mind that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind that.
So Amani, a couple things. So I still need Diablo 4 as round 2 for trash on that one, and for me, just personally, because I hated my experience a little bit when I played it, Jedi Survivor for round 1 on trash as well.
I'll give you
And you know-
Diablo. I'm gonna leave. I'm I'm gonna leave Jedi Survivor alone.
Okay, yeah, okay. You want to know my defense on that? Because I'm afraid he's
Actually,
currently
I
still
think it
trying to.
does deserve to be on the list, though, at least. But still.
Yeah. Because here's the thing. I have a friend who's still trying to play it, and it's still broken nearly a year after the fact on PS5.
When did it come out exactly?
March of this year.
Well, yeah, I mean,
April's actually, but yeah, it's still.
all right. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab Diablo. That's a link. That is not a picture. That is a link.
I'm surprised Goodbye Volcano High is not on this list for you.
Bruh. Okay, one, again, this was a curated nominated list. We nominated these, and then we sprinkled garbage in. But this is also fair, because some of this is also kind of garbage. We could sprinkle more garbage in. It's harder to sprinkle extra good things in, because you guys didn't even
Yeah.
bother to talk about it before.
If I'm gonna do anything else, I'm only gonna add one more game in there.
And you want this round 2? I mean, it is a very much playable game. It's just
It is a playable game, but
yeah.
the end, everything after, like once you actually beat the campaign, which for Diablo is more than just that. It's the end game shit. It is awful, and they're still threatening of making $100 expansion for this game.
Oh yeah, I did see that. Yeah, you stay right there. Honestly, debating on putting you there, but like you stay right there. You're more playable than the rest of these.
In short, anything Activision Blizzard should be on the Trash of the Year nominations.
Jedi Survivor. Let me go ahead and grab
I would
that.
say at least round 1 because, like, my
Round
god,
one,
that game
yeah.
is just broken.
Dave the Diver deserves to be in round 2.
Could we put 30XX on here?
Did that launch?
It launched. Well, it was launched August 9th, but originally it was supposed to be like early access of like February.
It was early access originally. I mean, it launched August 9th this year. It counts.
It counts, yeah. Alright. Like I said, we're sprinkling a lot of good stuff that people decided not to talk about when asked what games they would want to put on this thing.
Well, you didn't even ask me to fucking put anything on here, okay?
I asked. You were there!
No, you didn't. I didn't hear shit.
That's on you.
I distinctly remember Aaron not being there
For what?
for when we originally did the list.
Oh yeah, no, I was not there.
What else we said? Survivor, 30XX, and what was the other one?
The Diver deserves to
Dave-
be in
Dave
round
the
2.
Diver.
Dave the Diver.
Well, you know what? No, because since Dredge is down there in round 1, let's say Dave the Diver still is in round 1.
Yeah, that's about right.
What's up,
I
Cat?
remember 10. 30XX. And then, what was the other one? Dave the Diver.
Oh my goodness, he's on crack that time. I'm gonna go just feed him. Quick,
Alright, quick.
give him a little food.
That should be it.
Mhm.
Then we have to do fights for the final. Okay, so let's go grab.
This list right is
30.
if Resident Evil 4 was in noms. Everything in that it'd be complete. It'd be perfect.
If you don't shut your ass up.
Bitch, you still got what's called. How the fuck Slay the Princess gonna get up and you wanna tell me to eat shit? Fuck you.
Because Slay the Princess is a unique experience.
It's also an indie title made by one dude.
One
Yeah,
dude.
I'd say round 1.
The other one had the groundwork laid out for it. All they had to do is just not screw it up.
Which you would think would be easy,
Even
but
after
no,
all-
sometimes
even-
it-
People
even
tend
after
to
all
make
the
that
hard
really
work.
hard, even
Yeah.
though it is an easy task.
Even though after all the hard work that they done put into putting all those little slight mechanics for Resident Evil 2 and 3, now look at that. We just getting shit on like this.
They didn't
It's
get shit on.
okay.
Those games didn't
It-
get shit on. They're right where they need to be. They're great games for the year, but they're not nominations. They don't stand
It's
above.
okay.
I still think 60. Oh,
It's okay. They'll see the light soon enough.
They're amazing games, though. So, Leon, you'll have to argue for 30XX to get any higher.
Oh no, I'm fine with round 1.
All right.
Round 1 makes sense. 30XX is very much it's a very good like
Niche
of the
title.
niche title of the roguelike and Mega Man series, and it very much does it well. It does
Okay.
it very well for what it is, and it even add on some extra things because the update that they just had too. But it isn't anything like I want to say revolutionary because story's it's nothing too good.
I
You
mean,
can look at it.
I would say it's a necessary title mainly because we ain't getting another Mega Man game anytime
Mhm.
soon.
That's true.
Exactly, so
Yo,
it's a
just
good
got a Mega
filler.
Man game, honestly.
A new one, Jones.
I mean, Mega Man 11 came out what last year? I think?
2019.
2019. And this is also specifically X series, so
Very different thing.
very very different thing.
People are really gonna look at this list and say, "Wow, they really have Mortal Kombat at that mid." I'm just surprised that it's sitting here. I can't fight for Mortal Kombat. I don't really like it, but like, well, it's kind of crazy that it's right there.
I think it could go up one round, in my opinion. But we've already argued that's going to be the mid.
Yeah, it's gonna be there. It's just wild to look at. If that makes any sense. It's just like people are gonna look at this list and be like, "How the fuck did this get here?"
I mean, hey, they'll come to understand because all the hype of Mortal Kombat just comes off the name. You just
They
sucking
aren't
there for
very
Mortal
good
Kombat, literally.
fighting games, to be fair. But this is actually trying to. So that's the thing. Since MK9, they've actually been trying to make better fighting games. Like genuinely, like they are trying to make better fighting games. And so each Mortal Kombat, I think, is an improvement for the most part over the next, with the exception being 11. But 11 is still more of a fighting game than X. It's just not as fun.
So
that makes
here's the
any
thing: with
sense.
Mortal Kombat's in terms of fighting capabilities, it's like they're still not the greatest in terms of examples. But the one thing they have improved over every iteration of the game, definitely the narrative. They've gotten really
Oh yeah, the
good with a
narrative is
story.
really good.
Narrative,
Yeah.
fantastic.
I would say Mortal Kombat is definitely now up there as best narrative in the fighting game genre.
It's kind of been there since like 9, to be
Honestly,
honest.
but to also be honest, like fighting games with stories also haven't been that great either.
True. I mean,
Mm-mm.
Street Fighter tried
Uh,
before. It wasn't that
and
great.
good.
And
Tekken
Tekken always
tried.
does it. It's just confusing.
Yeah.
Tekken's
Soul
like,
Calibur
bro,
also
huh?
tried at times, but like Soul Calibur is also confusing.
King of
And
Fighters is
Soul Calibur.
confusing.
Yeah.
yep, and MVC does not count.
Nope. No, it does not. Even for their one attempt, it does not. All right. So now that everybody's back and clearly certain people are munching on snacks, how about we finally figure out this last decision?
So I'm just going to say
Okay,
this
so
right
we
now.
got
High
6
Five Rush
choices.
goes to the fucking game of the year.
I agree.
No question.
disagree.
High Five Rush goes.
I
to
love
the
Hi-Fi Rush, but I disagree.
Honestly,
Okay.
again, it's between Baldur's Gate or Alan Wake 2 because even though, excuse me, I haven't personally played any of these games like that, Spider-Man 2, from what I've seen and from what I'm knowing right now, it's just going to be a coming and passing. Like, okay, we got a sequel to Spider-Man 2. It was good. Recommend to play it. It's not the best thing that came out this year, so to speak.
Okay.
Hi-Fi
I
Rush
would always
is the
recommend
same
you play
thing.
Spider-Man 2, but that's just me.
Yeah, but
Okay.
it's not like
It's
the
still a
first
good
game
game to
though. It's
play.
not like
Especially if you
it's
played the
Spider-Man
first one, it's like,
1.5.
yeah, you should probably play the second one. The second one's really good and improves upon a bunch of stuff.
You
I
know
agree
what?
with that, but I
You
don't
know
play
what?
the
I
game.
got it. Spider-Man 2 feels like to me what Metal Gear Solid 5 turned out to be because
That is a wild
like
statement.
That's a bit of a bold
because
statement,
like
not gonna lie.
because Ground Zero technically is Spider-Man Miles Morales, and then
Sure.
Phantom Pain is Spider-Man 2, except that it actually got everything that like it came together and it's cohesive. And it was finished. Metal Gear, unlike Phantom Pain.
Okay.
So honestly, Alan Wake 2.
I'm seeing what you're putting down.
Well, I'm gonna skip over Alan Wake 2 because it's the same thing with Baldur's Gate. I mean, compared to Hi-Fi Rush, Hi-Fi Rush is just like that. It's the underdog, and it's
Okay.
the hidden gem that nobody really knew, like nobody really expected. Like it's a really fun, great game, Like this is the game that you can actually recommend to somebody talking about, hey, if I'm trying to get into gaming, what's a fun game that you would recommend? Hi-Fi Rush. Gosh, it's a nice little starter game that you can get somebody into, cause what the whole rhythm mechanic of the game, fighting along to the beat, that can
Mhm.
get you into so many other genre of games. It's a nice little entry point, and it's a fun game that you can recognize. It'll go down in history as like one of those games that people can say that, yeah, I recommend that you play that in your lifetime. Probably in the top 100, maybe 150.
It's a very unique
Okay.
game.
I I
Uh,
I think Hi-Fi Rush should have gotten way more recognition than it did.
Hmm.
But as much as I think it did a lot of things amazing well, I don't think it like spearheaded a movement the way Baldur's Gate did. Baldur's Gate 3 did,
It
in
didn't.
my opinion.
I
Like
think it did, most definitely. However, what I see with Hi-Fi Rush is that Hi-Fi Rush is basically a complete package. You play it, it has a great ending, and you can replay it if you want to. It's one thing. It's basically during the times when we used to have the old games on the little memory cards and everything. No DLC, no extra things. It's just a good complete package, and that's why I would recommend it for Game of the Year. That's it. Aside from
yeah,
the
but at the
music and
same
the
time, it's
gameplay.
also a much simpler. Like the story for the game isn't exactly like it's good, but it's not mind blowing.
Oh
Like
no,
what
it's
makes
not
the
mind
game
blowing.
mind blowing is it's the game mechanics and the combat.
Hmm.
Mm.
But like okay, so Baldur's Gate 3 to me, like I don't think Hi-Fi Rush is a great game. Like I think like Joe said, if you're somebody that maybe hasn't played a lot of video games, it is an amazing video game for just casually play. It is a very just amazingly casual, chill experience to to go through. But like okay, Baldur's Gate 3, like the combat and like the movement may not be there to an extent, but it managed to capture D&D and like strategy games in such a compelling way, story-wise, mechanically, like in just characters, that there's so many people that never even heard of D&D or any of the world or even cared about it before actually tried it the fuck out and actually really were like, "Oh, there's a whole genre of games and things out there that I actually kind of might enjoy that I really didn't know I would enjoy because I had no introduction to this world." You
That's
know,
true.
like it really expanded. There's a ton. My cousin, like he loves video games, but he also like he grew up in Costa Rica, and for a long time here, like games were not as accessible, as they were in the States, for example.
Mm.
And he would get games when he would go to the U.S. or maybe sometimes down here that he would buy them used sometimes, or he would pirate games, you know. But like there was a lot of times where he didn't have access to it. But like he knows nothing about D&D. He knows absolutely nothing about like role playing games or anything like that. He doesn't know like anything about that. But Baldur's Gate managed to capture him enough that he's like, yo, I'd actually might be down and interested to play D&D one day. Like I'd really like to try that out. It's really interesting. Like this whole world and everything. It opened up like for a ton of people. Like, oh shit, this is a thing. Actually, kind of fun.
Yeah.
It's not just numbers on a screen. Now you can imagine, oh, this is actually what's going down. Gave a lot of people like something to base it off. And on top of that, I think as I played a lot of Divinity, and I love Divinity, but I think the quality of life things that they've done in Baldur's Gate were amazing improvements.
And I'll give it to Baldur's Gate. This did it essentially it did some things that like CRPGs, I think personally, in order to just make them a more interesting experience, should do like from now on. Um which is like the cinematic camera from when you talk, things like that, like actually giving you a chance to like really make your character. Well, depending on some of them let you do that, but like it does. This game does a lot of things that CRPGs normally don't do, and kind of like it reinvented itself a little bit. Like it reinvented the genre a little bit by doing that. right? And you're not wrong. It is spearheading like an entire movement for people to actually do this, like to play D&D, to come and play this game. The characters are like great.
The voice acting, in my opinion, like the animations for cutscenes, for a lot of the like, I think the voice acting and the music is just amazing for so many like random characters
But
that you barely talk to.
I also feel like there's just pieces of it that like prevent me from wanting to give it that thing, like like that's just it. Maybe it's just me. Well, it is more so me personally, because my experience with the game and stuff like that, where like just bugs and stuff like that that have existed in the game or like currently exist or maybe at this point have been fixed but cannot be fixed for like my save, or I personally don't like. I mean, like I get the idea of like why some like certain things work, but I don't like the idea that the co-op isn't as I guess drop in drop out as it could be. It's very much linked to the fact that you have like whatever character. Like there was a ton of people having a ton of problems in the beginning where like they may have started a campaign, let someone into their world, right, and then can't continue, right? Because unless that other person joins in, because it's you're able to drop into the game, you just can't drop out very easily, and it's a little weird. I know that there was somewhat of a fix where like you could technically put characters, like playable characters, into your inventory, so to speak, and by doing so, you kind of alleviate the problem of like having you could continue the story without having that extra person there. But it's like a little weird as a fix, like a workaround. But it's like it's little things like that that to me kind of it feels like almost minuscule, but it's like those things that kind of, at least to me, for the kind of experience it's presenting, should have been like accounted for, and it's kind of what stops it from, at least for me, being like game of the year, because of the fact that it's stuff that it's like, oh, you didn't think of this for this game that like you kind of planned for, huh? Probably should have thought it out a little bit better, or like probably should have had someone like test that bit a little bit better. There, best way I can describe it is it has a bunch of like B and C class bugs that kind of damper the experience. Little tiny things that kind of dent the armor, at least for me.
You know, I kind of understand what you're going for, but one bunch of those were exploits, which is a little unfair. Like exploits are as much as they might bug test something, people will always find a way to break the game.
Oh yeah.
And then as much as with the bugs, I really haven't run into like any crazy bugs in the game that have been like actually game like affecting in any way.
I've had a
The only
couple
one,
game
the only
affecting
time that it,
yeah.
the only time it got a little buggy for me was when I got like hacked through, because it has to render a ton of shit. But from
And a
what
lot
I
of people
understand,
do
with a
talk
lot
about
of the
how
new updates,
it dips, but I know that that's gotten improved over time.
I know that a lot of it's improved over time. I feel like a lot of that's kind of one of those growing pains of doing a game this massive.
Mhm.
You know, like there's a lot that they tried to do, and all
Plus, to
things
be fair,
considered,
if I'm not mistaken, the third act is the one that's least tested, because
Yes,
each
it's
of the
still
acts were released over
broken.
time. Yeah,
It's still broken technically.
so
it's not. I don't think it's still broken, because they did just have like an update. It's still broken, but I know that it can be buggy just because there's so many
yeah,
things
I don't
going
think.
on.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that it's broken. It's just it's not optimal, and it's not tested as much because it's the last thing that they worked on in the game. Like straight up, we know it's the last thing they worked on in the game before release. So, you know, he's like in defense of it, I understand why the third act is the way it is, because we kind of followed it for a certain while. But like, I don't know, there's just certain things I'm like, wow, that just wasn't really picked up.
Like
on.
I've beaten the game fully once, and I've gotten pretty close to beating it like two separate stages that I'm doing solo. And I haven't had any like crazy stupid bugs that I've like had to like fix something, or like it's something too crazy. I have had on occasion, there's times where like interactions will clash with each other,
Yeah.
Like if you talk to two characters and accept something, sometimes like a mission will bug out. But that will probably that happens in so many games like this,
Yeah,
just because
there's just
of
a
how
lot
things
going
are
on.
set
So-
up, because of how much there's going on. So I mean, I get it. I think there are definitely some issues with the game, but I feel like there's enough that it's doing elsewhere in so many different ways that I mean, you can play the game in so many different ways. Like actually, now I will be honest, it suffers from some of the problems where certain situations have the oh yeah this this actually doesn't matter.
Mm.
You know what I mean? It kind of
Mhm.
suffers from that in certain cases, but I think most RPGs suffer from that when they're trying to give like an actually like linear story.
Yeah.
You know,
They have to
but
bring
it
it
lets
back in some way.
but it lets you do some crazy shit. Like I had a run where I just got killed. Like I don't want to spoil anything, but a goddess literally looked at me and said, I don't like you. Bye, and I died. That's it. That was the end of my fucking run.
It's
I had to
well,
reload
I'll
my fucking
start
save.
over again.
That was an actual ending to the game. If you piss off a goddess enough, she would just be like, you, fuck you, and you die. You know, like it's stuff like that that's kind of just funny. Or playing like a Dark Urge run is just fucking, oh, what do? Piss yourself. You know, stuff like that. Like you can do just wild shit for no reason. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But
And, like, it is not to be understated. The level of freedom it gives you is it's incredible. It's something worth noting.
I think Hi-Fi Rush, as much as it did a bunch of things very well, I don't think it like did that new crazy new thing as much.
I think the biggest example is like the impact it would have on the industry moving forwards, because Baldur's Gate 3 is, I'm not sure like more CRPGs is going to come out for that, but the direction, the freedom of choice, as well as the mass amounts of creativity, that because a lot of developers were complaining about it, I think it's going to be it's going to at least stir up the next hot big thing, and a lot of games are going to try to emulate what Baldur's Gate 3 did, at least in some degree.
Now,
That's true.
I also think, from what I've seen, I think when it comes to like cinematic and like mystery thriller games, I think Alan Wake is also up there in terms of like doing something completely fucking.
It's definitely unique. It is, by and large, a very unique experience from what I've played. It is just, it's a third person shooter, but with like the horror mechanics, the shadow, the light, the level design, the change ups, how the story is delivered, especially since it's a very metatextual idea. It is nuts. It is very fucking nuts.
At the end of the day, I actually I hate the whole game of the year thing. It's fun. I love the trash of the year game. But the game of the year,
but this one
I-
hurts a little bit more because
I feel like
I'm there for the
I'm
game
gonna
of the
be honest
year.
with you, Amani, as
I'm
much as-
live for the trash of the year.
as much as you're like you're a hardcore Spider-Man fan, I don't think the Spider-Man. I think the Spider-Man game was good. I think it was a great game. I think
Oh,
it
yeah.
was an amazing.
I
game.
don't think it's game of the year.
I don't think it's the like it's oh dude, it's like to me the gameplay looked like an improved version of the first game, which is what I expected, but it didn't look that much crazy. You know what I mean?
Oh, it had a
it
lot
didn't
to
look
do.
as
Like,
crazy.
the why it got so far is because it had a lot to do with its story and what it told. But I, as a person that loves Spider-Man, I also am critical of it as well. And for someone that like, I love, there are things in this game that it does that I'm like, I love these things, but like, I've discussed multiple times that like, it has problems. Like as far as like some of the tweaks and systems that it decided to do, I don't agree with
I
them
personally
making
just
those decisions.
I find it funny how like the really hardcore Spider-Man fanboys were like tripping balls when Baldur's Gate 1.
Oh yeah,
Like,
we know one of
actually
them.
on Twitter.
Oh
We know
yeah,
one of them.
no, I understood
It's
why
crazy
Baldur's
to
Gate
me because
won.
I was like, in my opinion, I'm like, I don't think Spider-Man was that good to
And-
be like
and,
game
yeah.
of the year.
Like I
Yeah,
said
it-
with everybody else, it's like I have my own personal gripes with Baldur's Gate as to why I don't think it deserves Game of the Year, but that doesn't mean I don't think it deserves the award. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it winning wasn't a problem for me. It's just with Spider-Man here, it's like I love this. This is a nice game. I didn't care for Alan Wake because I didn't play it. Like I have no feelings towards it.
Yeah, no frame
Um,
reference.
No frame of reference. Final Fantasy was up there, and I actually would have preferred Final Fantasy to do it because I had a great time playing this game.
Yeah.
But like, to be fair, for me, like out of these two, I had more fun playing this because I was looking forward to it. It's one of my favorite characters. It's two of my
Oh,
favorite characters.
I can
of all time.
absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so it's like, yeah, and then on top of
Makes
that,
sense.
it's two of my favorite characters dealing with my
And then
favorite
Venom.
villain, and then they're doing like some of the stuff that like I've really enjoyed in comic books lately involving those characters and showing growth and stuff like that that I've wanted from the comics in this, right? And so it's like it's really cool, but it doesn't mean that they didn't leave stuff out. So like I said before in like off topic stuff, but Maz is completely left out of this game for the most part. Like he's
Like-
there, but like he's not there half
The
the
thing is,
time.
the two that we're arguing, in my opinion, I think are the two that most are arguably the three, in my opinion, be Hi-Fi Rush, Alan Wake 2, and Baldur's Gate.
Mhm.
Those two games deserve like just a lot of recognition because like Hi-Fi Rush was like is just such a fun game that came out.
It
I was
is.
like, oh yes, this
It
is
came
so
out of
refreshing
literally nowhere.
and so fun. Thank God.
This is the
That's
same
all the
people
Baldur's
that were
Gate.
doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, Baldur's Gate didn't come out of nowhere.
No. For the ones who were following it, for the mass majority of people, no one knew.
When that game came out,
It was on
it
early
was
access
pretty
for, like, the
fun.
longest.
We weren't on access again for the fans who were care for the CRPG and who knew it was coming out. But for the vast majority of people, no one knew about this game until it came out, and it blew the fuck up.
But here's what I mean, like it came out of nowhere, and the difference being is that Baldur's Gate had an ad campaign. It got a release date. It was in early access. Hi-Fi Rush literally got announced, and the trailer said, "It's out now. Go home and play it." And people were like, "What is this?" And I went home because I saw it at work. Went home, was like, "Guys, I need to look at this shit." And I started playing it, and you guys were like, "What the fuck is this?" And I'm like, "It's Hi-Fi Rush." And I don't know what it is. It's cool. So it's like when we're saying like the hype for Baldur's Gate came out of nowhere, but Baldur's Gate existed, right? It had two other games. People played it. It's
Years ago, nearly a decade ago.
but I mean, like its popularity isn't to be understated, right? And then on top of that, by the time it came out, not only did you have people who already knew that it was good based on the fact that it was like you were playing the early access, right? But then people get to talk about that more because it's now officially out. You can play through the game. You can do the official full run, right? And people get to see that they're playing the official full run of the game. But it's not like it didn't just come out of left field. The hype for it came out of left field because everybody was like, "Where the fuck? Why is everyone so excited about this game?" Like, like me and you, Pele, we saw it and we was like, "We're gonna play it," and then suddenly we're like looking at our feeds and we're like, "Wow, people are really excited about Baldur's Gate for some reason." Like, we're just scrolling through like shit. Like, I hope I don't get spoiled. Whereas like every other game on this list besides Hi-Fi Rush and Slay the Princess, actually, those are the two. Every other game on this list had a following by default before getting up here, essentially.
Mhm.
Like Bomb Rush was everyone that was playing fucking Jet Set Radio and was like, "Oh shit, Team Reptile is doing it. Like, let's go." They got sick of it, right? Like every other game on here, Alan Wake, obviously, it's like, yeah, anybody that played any of the Alan Wake games, any of the Remedy games was looking forward to this. They kind of hinted at it in Control, right? It was like, we might be doing it. Then they came out and was like, "We're doing Alan Wake 2," and everybody's like, "Fuck yeah!" Like,
Finally!
let's get it.
Finally.
Like 10 years after the fact.
I don't even got to get into Spider-Man 2. Everybody knew from the first game came out. They're like, "All right, when Spider-Man 2 coming out?" And then we got Miles Morales and was like, "That's not Spider-Man 2, but I'll take it."
People are fiending.
So it's like, to me at least, Hi-Fi Rush kind of gets the game of the year because it's the only game that like truly, at least to me, that and Slay the Princess are the only two games that came out this year, and this is like their like big chance. They came out, they didn't take the world by storm, I'll say that, but whoever they hit hard. If that makes any sense. They hit real hard. And that's both of those games. That's not even to take away from Slay the Princess, because we aren't really talking about it in this discussion, which it's both fair and not fair to it at the same time, if that makes any sense. It's like, but I just fuck with Sci-Fi Rush so hard because of the fact that it's like it is this beautiful ass game Like it looks like a Saturday morning cartoon at all times. It does like it's a really cool thing where you're switching between animation styles where it's like doing the full on 2D like stuff that's happening and like 3D that looks 2D and it still looks good. Like it looks as if it just fits completely. And then on top of that, like we talked about, everything in the world is moving to a beat of a song, and the songs are bangers. Like I don't, I just want to, I don't want it to be understated how hard you gotta go with the music. That even the unlicensed version of everything, right? Because you have the licensed version of the music that goes hard, but even the unlicensed version of the music, people are arguing. There are arguments as to which soundtrack is better. people will fight in the streets whether or not they like the unlicensed music or the actual licensed stuff because it's that fascinating. And honestly, I've listened to both, and I'm like, dang, they kind of some of these do kind of go harder. Some of these songs are kind of harder bangers. So it's like one of those games where I'm just kind of like, I don't know, like Hi-Fi Rush is not going to get another chance. Like Spider-Man, Baldur's Gate is going to get another Baldur's Gate, right? It probably will, especially with as big as it is right now. And even if it doesn't, it'll get another game like it because it's going to inspire things. And I think that's fair as to why it would get Game of the Year. But there's not going to be another Hi-Fi Rush, if that makes any sense. As big as that is, there's just not going to be another one. That's going to be like its own encapsulated thing that's going to just live on, especially with the fact that they chose the art style that they chose. It's just going to live on forever in this little vacuum. And that's just going to be it, right? Like, there's going to be another Remedy game. There's going to be another Spider-Man for sure. There will probably not be another Slay the Princess, but we know for a fact there will be another Jet Set Radio because there's, Bomb Rush came out and it's dope, and I would hope that Reptile just does another Bomb Rush. But, like, we're going to get more games like that. Definitively. So it's just, that's kind of why I want to at least give it to Hi-Fi Rush, is that there's never going to be anything like it again. There's, technically speaking, Slay the Princess, there technically was something like Slay the Princess before. Not inherently like it as it is, but like we mentioned earlier that like that Doki Doki Literature Club kind of hit the same way. Like it's on the same beats, so to speak. Not as meta. It doesn't really, its narrative isn't as crazy, but the idea of visual novel that fucks with you, that fucks with you, the person, is a thing that exists as a genre now. There's enough examples, I guess is the best way I can describe it.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know, man. There's not gonna be another one of Hi-Fi Rush. It's just not. I don't even think they're gonna make a sequel to that game. I would want them to. I don't think they will.
I mean, the
I
creator
can
should
agree on
probably
like
left
that.
the studio after the game was shortly released.
Mm-hmm.
I can, I can understand why you're saying that.
But where does everyone else stand so far on all these? Because we do gotta make we could fight, but
All day, but we do need to make a decision.
mm-hmm.
Oh, wait.
I think the three that we said before is what they should be. Should be the games of the year.
Just make all
But
three.
we
Of them.
gotta make one.
Yeah.
I guess
I mean,
very different reasons, I guess. But
yeah.
I honestly, I understand the Hi-Fi Rush. I really do. Like, it is a very unique game.
Honestly, I'm just sticking with Alan Wake 2 because out of spite for Baldur's Gate for winning damn near everything, and then the fact that for the argument of Hi-Fi Rush again, it's just a really good game. Like that's just what it is. It's something that I don't think it's Game of the Year. Like it doesn't do anything new. Like nothing it does is anything new, but it's just a fresher breath of air because we've never had a literal game just come out and just be like it's a fucking fun game. It has everything. It's complete. It's for a good price. It does its job, and you can come back for more if you want to. You can get better at the game. I'm not saying that like it's gonna be its own IP or anything like that. It's a good little one and fun game that everybody's gonna say that hey, when y'all gonna re-release Hi-Fi Rush? I mean, like, technically y'all can re-release it now, especially with, I guess it has timed exclusivity because it's still only on Xbox and PC. So
Sure.
No, it's not a time exclusivity mainly because Xbox owns Bethesda, whose own Tango Gameworks.
it's just gonna be just all it's gonna be. And it's just gonna be one of those games that you're gonna wish that you had an Xbox or you had a PC for. It doesn't do anything new to me. And I agree with everybody else pretty much that Baldur's Gate is the new face child. It's the new poster board for RPG genre games now, just like how Mass Effect was. And once they crack down what the formula is, then we're going to see a few down the pipeline, but it won't last that long.
Okay.
What's everybody else thinking?
My vote, I still say, is to Baldur's Gate.
Okay.
I want to say hi-fi. I just enjoy, although I like both games. Both games are great. Both games are fantastic. Um, Seeing Amani play with the beat and how the story goes, well, not even the story, just mainly the beat and the action and the fact that everything goes with the music too, and it's also just a neat package. It's nothing extra. There's no like you don't have to have the like DLC or anything like that. It's just one cohesive thing, and you just go with it. Um, that's what I really like about Sci-Fi Rush. However, with Baldur's Gate, as everyone said, it made a big impact on tabletop gaming itself, and has brought in so much more people into the community itself, into it. Um, and it has its merits, and it deserves its merits. But I still just have more of a joy for what Hi-Fi Rush gives versus the variety versus the latter.
Jones, what's your decision?
Jones is picking with Alan Wake.
Alan Wake. Okay.
That's Jones.
Okay.
Jones said Alan Wake.
That's a fair
Yeah, it's a fair thing.
You know what,
Two
Amani?
for Hi-Fi Rush, two
I-
for Baldur's Gate,
I-
one for Alan Wake.
I think Baldur's Gate, like we're gonna end up with those two because I feel like
I also want to
Baldur's
say,
Gate
like,
for
I think
me-
I'm the only person I've actually played all three of those games.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that
Yeah,
is
basically.
true. I didn't play a lot of Hi-Fi Rush because I when I installed it, I uninstalled it because I needed room for other games.
Mhm.
Fuck, I need to play this game later because it's small. Once I have more room.
It is very small.
Damn, I feel like we're gonna end up in a tie.
All right.
But
if
you know
Devon
what?
was here, what do you think his vote would have been?
You know what? I'll say this. I will go with Hi-Fi Rush. Honestly, if you won me over, because you are right, this is probably a game we're never gonna see anything like it ever again. More than likely, I don't think it's ever gonna get a sequel. I don't think I can see it getting a sequel, and it's very hard for games like that to get made.
Mm.
Honestly,
Mhm.
Actually, no. We're forgetting one game, Amani, that's similar to Hi-Fi Rush, but it's not exactly the same case. No Straight Roads.
I didn't forget about it.
Yeah.
It's just that those two games they play differently. Genuinely. Like, as a person that's played both of them, they're very different games. They try, like, I don't know how to explain No Straight Roads. It tries, but they are very. Best way I can describe it is like I had fun playing No Straight Roads when I first played it. This gave me like joy, but like if yeah,
I will give my vote to Hi-Fi Rush.
all right.
I think you've won me over. I still think overall Baldur's Gate might be a better game.
I think it's gonna have the biggest impact for
Was
sure.
probably the most unique game that we got this year.
All right, I think that's 3 out of everyone. Hi-Fi Rush has won it. It brings a tear to my eye. But all right.
So I will say this though: if within a month's time they announce Hi-Fi Rush 2 or another game just like Hi-Fi Rush,
Oh yeah,
where you
our
take
whole
the
argument
online
falls apart.
I'll scream.
Yeah.
Very much
Scream.
I'll actually, I feel bad that I'll be bad, but I'll actually feel. I'm like, wow, there goes.
I'll be happy, but I mean, like, damn.
No, the way your entire argument is, become moot at that point.
Oh yeah, it becomes mute, but at the same time, it's like, wow, that's crazy that this game that we thought would never get a sequel is getting a sequel. Like, I'll still be happy, but like, and it doesn't change the fact that Baldur's Gate still, like, wow, Baldur's Gate didn't win our award. It won like every other.
It won every other.
Like, it's like it's
can
fine.
stand not winning ours.
It'll be fine. It's like, as much as I'm like, don't get me wrong, I get it. This is a very deserving game too. I don't think it's not. I just, this just encapsulates it, I think, for the year for me. This was also my other most anticipated game, and this really just snuck up on me out of nowhere, and I was like, damn, it's just crazy. I think this game just snuck up on anybody. It was just like, yeah, no, I'm here. And everybody was like, oh, fuck.
Oh shit!
You got something to say.
Where'd you come from?
What's your kind here? What's up with that? But all right, Hi-Fi Rush gets the crown, and the day before it gets something. It gets trash. It gets thrown in the trash.
It's already in the trash for a lot of people.
It's being set on fire currently.
It's funny because like Steam isn't selling it anymore. If I'm not
I'll
No, you
bet
can't
the
buy it
dumpster
anymore.
got set on fire too.
like it's straight up, we're like, yeah, we're not selling people a fucking scam.
We're done here. We got the games of the year are Atomic Heart, Counter-Strike 2, Gargoyles Remastered, Forspoken,
Duncan,
Avatar,
Hogwarts
Hogwarts Legacy, Mortal Kombat
MK1,
1,
and
and
Raven
Raven's.
Bound.
So, with that being said, I think that will conclude it. Guys, join us next week. We still have many more awards to give out because
Next
we
is
have
the
to do
subject of
shows.
movies
Shows and
and TV
movies. We got to finish that before the end of the year, and that's going to be
The
fun.
Halo show.
Oh, we have so many words
Oh,
for the movie
God,
category
not
alone.
the Halo show, not
The Halo show wins Game of the Year.
We have so many words to talk about the movies alone for sure because, oh god, superhero movies have really been hard this year.
Yeah, they've had a hard time.
They've been having a hard time. They've been having a really, really bad time this year,
It's a rough
both
time.
financially and just quality. I would say too.
In general, altogether. It's really unfortunate. But without further ado, we will catch you all later. Peace.
Peace.
God.
Peace.
God.